and it was getting dark, and I was exhausted, and then I just started having a panic attack, like a full-on, like I was wheezing and like hyperventilating and crying.
Welcome to Backpacker Radio, presented by The Trek, brought to you by Element. I am your co-host, Zach Badger Davis, sitting to my right is...
Hi, I'm Juliana Chauncey, a.k.a. Chaunce.
Few reminders. First is, my headphones are loud.
Mine are loud, too.
Should we turn it down a bit?
I thought it was just that I was higher volume, but yeah, let's turn it down.
Yeah, that's too much. Okay, now we sound good.
This is what, like, old people with hearing aids probably get to do. At Thanksgiving, when they don't want to hear people anymore, they just turn the volume down.
Then they get very quiet. This will be an interesting podcast.
Yes.
A few reminders is Trail Correspondents. The season is underway. I think we're one episode deep at this point, but it's going to be an epic season. I assure you this. So be sure to go catch that first episode, and while you're there, definitely subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Next is, if you want the best from the Trek, the place to get it is the Trek's weekly newsletter. We'll include a link in the show notes, but this is where you get the best content from the Trek. We do exclusive gear discounts. We do job opportunities.
Yep.
You inhaled.
I'm just... Things are fuzzy. Yeah, there's job opportunities there. You probably want to join the newsletter because you never know when something's going to pop up, and you never know what will pop up, and sometimes it'll surprise you. So,
as advertised, when we listed the video editor opportunity through here, when I plugged it on the podcast, it was too late for it to be relevant, and I got a bunch of people reaching out being like, is it too late to apply? The answer is yes. We've hired someone.
Yeah, someone great.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Someone maybe too good.
Shout out to Chris. Chris has been slinging together the videos for us for the last few weeks here. But yeah, we're getting spoiled with an excellent video editor, which is no commentary on Sarah. Sarah's amazing as well.
Yeah, but she's going to be on the AT, so we're all just jealous of her right now.
100%. But moral of the story is, when cool job opportunities open at the Trek, the newsletter is the place that you're going to hear about it. So if that's a thing that's of interest, please do subscribe. Last but not least, if you enjoy this show and you want to support your favorite cinnamon connection, you can do so patreon.com/backpackerradio. For as little as $5 per month, you get every episode advertisement free.
And you get to support your favorite cinnamon. Yes, what you said. Patreon, it's been around as long as we have. We have had our Patreon and our supporters longer than anything else. So it is the best and longest lasting way to support the show. You guys on Patreon have been here since the beginning, and we're so grateful to have you. And it's a really great way to listen to the episodes without ads. And if you are someone who is taking off on a long trail this summer, maybe you don't want to get FOMO about gear discounts when you paid full price for something, right? So maybe you don't want to hear the super cool promo codes we have in our ads, because it'll just be like, why didn't I get 15% off, you know? So you can avoid that happening to you and having to take your phone out of your fanny pack to adjust the volume by joining Patreon. So we would love to have you there.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, nothing sucks worse than if you have found us because you got on trail and someone was like, you should listen to the show. And then you do, and then you realize that you could have gotten your gear with some Backpacker Radio discounts. So just skip that step and come to Patreon.
Yeah.
It's May 4th. Join the dark side.
Join the dark side. And tomorrow's Margarita Day. So
yes.
If you need another reason, somehow those are tied together
yes.
in my brain. But yeah, more than anything, advertisers come and go, but we are very appreciative of everyone who supports the podcast this way.
Less than a margarita. Less than the cost of a margarita.
For sure. Yeah.
Less than half a margarita.
I'd say nowadays 3 months of Patreon support is probably less than like a good margarita.
Less than a good shot of tequila.
Yikes. That's depressing, but accurate.
Yeah.
So.
Are we worth 2 ounces of liquid? Come on.
I'd say we're at least 4.
How much is in a shot?
Yeah.
Is it
1.5, 2 ounces. Depends on how divey of a bar you're at.
Yeah. Patreon, the dive bar.
Yeah.
When you sweat, you lose a lot more than water. You're burning through sodium, potassium, magnesium, all the stuff your body needs to keep going strong on trail, thinking clearly, and sleeping well at night. That's why I am a huge fan of Element. It's a zero sugar electrolyte mix with a science-backed ratio that's heavy on sodium, which is exactly what thru-hikers and long-distance backpackers are losing all day long. No sugar, no junk, just what your body actually needs. When I'm backpacking, I'll usually drink one element throughout the day, and I'll have another packet before bed. It helps me rehydrate, it keeps the leg cramps away, and I wake up feeling like $1,000,000. Another underrated benefit, Element makes those dodgy water sources actually taste good. If you've ever filtered from a silty creek, a cow tank, or some lukewarm pipe sticking out of the ground, you will know how clutch that is. It's not just an on-trail thing either. Element is my go-to hangover prevention tool. One packet before bed, one in the morning, and it's like hitting the erase button on a night of bad decisions. My favorites are Element, raspberry, and citrus. A cold Element lemonade on a hot day tastes like absolute heaven. And the citrus works shockingly well as a no-calorie mix-in for a margarita, perfect while car camping, or the lazy version at home. Good news, Backpacker Radio listeners can score a free Element sample pack with any drink mix purchase by going to drinklmnt.com/trek. That sample pack includes citrus salt, raspberry salt, watermelon salt, and orange salt. 2 stick packs of each flavor, 8 total. No coupon code needed, you just have to use the URL. Again, that's drinklmnt.com/trek to get 8 free packets with any drink mix purchase. The deal is only available for a limited time.
Okay, that's it. Let's get to today's interview with Katie Lance, who's an athlete in every sense of the word, from swimming and cross-country running in high school to rowing in college, and then competing marathons, triathlons, and Ironmans. Is it Ironmans or Ironmen?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's just Ironman.
It just feels weird to say, but that is probably right. Most recently, Katie thru-hiked the AT and quit her job to work as a professional triathlete. Katie, thank you so much for joining us here on Backpacker Radio.
Hello, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. In the bio, we don't have a trail name. Do you have a trail name?
Oh, yes, my trail name is Sunrise.
Sunrise. What's the story?
So it's kind of funny because most people, they think sunrise, oh, you must wake up early and like before the sunrise. I actually was one of the last people awake every morning, except if there was a good sunrise to watch. I got my name in the Smokies. Like you mentioned, I hiked the AT last year.
Wait, could you just sense if there was a good... You mean like
your
tent
eating me alive.
Pink?
No, because sometimes I would wake up and there would not be a good sunrise, and then I would be so disappointed that I lost sleep for nothing.
Okay.
So are we judging sunrises by we're at a good viewpoint or by like a tingling in the air?
Oh, a good viewpoint, yeah.
Okay.
Right on.
But yeah, I got my name in the Smokies. I ended up hiking with 4 different trail families on the AT, but I had just like left my first one. I was gonna start hiking alone for a while, and I started hiking with these 5 guys, and I convinced them to change their plans to watch the sunrise at Kawauhi or Klingman's Dome with me like the next morning. And then the day after that, I woke up alone and watched the sunrise at Charlie's Bunyan. And at first, I was like, they tried to give me the name Sunrise, and I was like, no, it's Hippy Dippy. Like, I want a badass name. And then, I don't know, I kind of, like, thought about it a while. But that day on Charlie's Bunyan, it was the first moment I was like, I like this thru-hiking thing. Like, this is amazing. I'm going to make it all the way to Katahdin. So after that, it resonated with me, and I started going by Sunrise.
Yeah. It's also fun for it to be ironic, because if you're the last one to leave camp, being Sunrise, there's just humor baked in there.
Yes.
So you said that it was at that moment that you were sold on thru-hiking, which to me implies that you were not sold on thru-hiking previously. Is that accurate?
Yes. So before the AT, I had only gone on 2 or 3, like, 3-day, 2-night backpacking trips. And I didn't want to put the pressure on myself of being like, you are definitely completing this thru-hike no matter what. And so I was just taking it day by day at first. And then around, like the 2 weeks when I was in the Smokies, I was like, I really enjoy this. I can definitely see myself making it all the way unless I get like sick or injured or something like that.
All right, so let's back up. I want to learn about your athletic background. Was there like a moment in your life where you knew that you were an athlete, like something that stands out from your childhood where you're like, you know what, I am exceptional?
No, not really. I guess I was always into sports ever since I was really young. I tried basically every sport when I was in like elementary school. And then in middle school, I tried out for the basketball team, and I did not make it. And I was like, okay, but I'm like really good at running and swimming. And so I kind of dove deep into those and focused on those. And then I started kind of winning local things and like making it to the state championships and all that. And I just really enjoyed it. And like in high school, I was on the swim team. We would wake up and have morning practice like before school, and it didn't bother me. I enjoyed it.
Sunrise starts to fit when you add that tidbit.
For sure.
Yes.
How tall are you?
I'm like 5'6".
Okay. Just not a basketballer?
No, I'm also not. I'm competitive, but I'm not aggressive. So any sport that was like had to do with like balls and having to like push people, I was like, not me. Like I used to play soccer, and I would literally just run up and down the field and not like get near the ball at all.
You just like the exercise.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like when I go to the field with Sierra. So you said state championships. Is this for running and swimming, or?
Yes. Yeah, running and swimming.
Wow.
For both. Yeah.
Did you win a state championship in each?
No. Oh, I say my team. I think my team, we got second, or yeah, for both of them, swimming and cross country. At one point we got second as a team, and then my relay and swimming, we did get first one year.
Wow.
So
Dang. I don't know anything about swimming, so I have some running questions because that's more relatable for me. What is the cross country distance in high school for girls?
the cross country distance is a 5K, so
5K.
3.1 miles.
Okay. So what are you running that at in high school?
Oh, well, my goal was to always try to break to 20 minutes. It never
20 minutes.
Yeah, it never happened, but the top girls were, I would say, in like the 17s. It's probably even faster now. People just keep getting faster and faster.
17 minutes feels like science fiction. That's crazy. And what was your swimming event? Or
I focused on the breaststroke event was the best, or the IM, which is all four, which freestyle, backstroke, butterfly, and breaststroke.
yeah. And I imagine being at that level, you're probably getting offered scholarships, yeah?
I was not at the level where like D1 schools were seeking me out. I probably could have gone to like a smaller school, D2. But I always knew I wanted to do engineering, and none of those schools had a good engineering program. So I ended up going to college for academics.
Okay. And what school did you go to?
The University of Tennessee.
Tennessee, nice. So you're close to home now.
Yes, yeah, I still live in Knoxville, yeah.
Right on.
When you say you went to college for academics, does that mean you didn't go for engineering?
No, she's saying that she chose engineering instead of sports, if I understood
Got
correctly.
it.
Yeah.
You went to college to learn, not to play.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Except I missed being part of a team and sports so much that I ended up walking onto the rowing team and ended up being a student athlete anyways.
Really?
Yeah. What do you engineer?
Civil engineering. Oh, and I focus in water resources. So, I currently am not a civil engineer at the moment. I quit my job when I hiked the AT. But I was working at the Tennessee Valley Authority as a civil engineer in the water management group. So we controlled and monitored the levels of the Tennessee River and all the dams along it.
Was it cool seeing Fontana Dam after having that?
Yes, it was really cool, yeah.
Do you have any cool TVA facts for us, since there is some overlap with the AT?
Well, it's been a while since I had thought about TVA. I will say, I think Fontana Dam is the tallest on the east side of the Mississippi. Yes. Yeah.
Very cool. I've got a question about swimming. How long can you hold your breath underwater?
Good question.
Oh,
Thank you.
I'm not sure. I haven't done that in a while. I know, when I used to practice swimming, we would have to do a whole, length of the pool without breathing.
Like an Olympic pool?
No, I guess a half of an Olympic pool. Yeah, 25 meters or yards.
We've got to vacuum the shag rug.
There's been no dogs in here. I'm wondering, maybe just the dust is enough to get you.
I think it's seasonal.
Yeah.
There's been no dogs in here.
Do you have any tips for the average swimmer to get better at swimming?
I would say the number one, I feel like when people try to swim, they're kind of muscling their way through. a good tip would be to, I guess, relax and make sure you put your hips up and your head down. I think instinct is to do the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What tips do you have for not getting water up your nose?
Another good question.
I used to jump into pools without
Yeah.
plugging my nose, and I used to laugh at the people that would get water up their nose, and then one day something switched, and I now get water up my nose.
Interesting.
I can like remember the age, I remembered the pool, I remember the diving board where it just like suddenly something changed, and I was like, oh fuck, I'm one of those people I made fun of.
I've never had that, but I get it in my ears.
Oh, yeah, up the nose is just no good. But then you think about it and you're like, it's 2 holes and you're jumping
Right.
down. Of course it's going to go up there. So
Yeah,
how does it not?
I don't understand how it doesn't go straight to my brain every
What do
single
I
time.
do?
I would say just breathe out of your nose, like while you're jumping in. I'm trying to think while I'm swimming, I don't really think about it, except when I'm doing a flip turn, when you get to the wall, then I intentionally breathe out of my nose so water doesn't go up my nose.
Okay. It sounds so simple. With swimming, how young were you when you started swimming?
I started swimming competitively when I was 9 years old,
Oh, wow.
and all the way till 18, and then I guess took a break and then started again when I started triathlons.
You said you walked on to the rowing team at University of Tennessee. Did you have prior rowing experience, or is that just your general fitness allowed you to excel?
I guess, yeah, just my general fitness and my determination, I would say. No, I had never rowed before. I'd never been in a boat. I had never touched a rowing machine or anything. I kind of knew about it because I had a friend who was 2 years older than me, and she swam in high school and then went to UT and did the rowing for a year and it wasn't her thing, but I was like, okay, I might do that if I end up going to UT, and so I just tried it and I really enjoyed it. I'd say being 5'6" is on the shorter end of being a rower. And so I wasn't like the best at rowing, and I was never on like the top boats, but it was still fun, like being part of the team and getting to compete and learning a new sport.
Is there a lot of crossover between being good at swimming and rowing? I know obviously a lot of those are very back focused, right?
Yes.
Does it translate, or is it just such different motions that one doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be good at the other?
I would say they probably overlap. Probably more so like swimming into rowing, just because there's, I guess, a lot of technique going from rowing to swimming that's different.
Mm-hmm.
But they're both full body workouts.
Yeah.
Like rowing, a lot of people assume rowing is like with your arms, but it's mostly your legs because the seat moves. So it's basically like doing a squat over and over again.
In the boat itself, the seat also moves? It's not just on the rower machines?
Yes.
No
yes.
way.
I
I
didn't
didn't
know
notice
that
that when
either.
I watched Boys in the Boat.
Yeah. Were your parents super athletic?
No, they honestly, when people say they're like, I don't know where she got this from. I mean, they're active people, and they played tennis and pickleball and did sports when they were really young, but they're not runners or anything like that.
Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have a younger brother, and he also ran and swam, but he didn't go beyond that. I guess he did it in high school, and then.
Was he good? Was he going to state championships?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is something cooked into the DNA that says that you are going to excel at this.
How did you go from, I mean, I can see the overlap with how these sports would lead to the AT, because rowing maybe is not as individual of an, like they're team sports, but you're also an individual effort person on the team, and that's, hiking is individual effort. But how did you get the idea to even consider thru-hiking with this kind of background? Because I feel like my mind wouldn't go from swimming to cross country to rowing to walking from Georgia to Maine.
I think it's just where I lived. So I grew up in Johnson City, Tennessee, which is like 30.
You stayed there.
Which is 30 minutes from Irwin, where the Appalachian Trail goes through Uncle Johnny's area. So I had hiked several parts of the AT. We would go camping at hot springs every year. It was like a tradition my parents and their friends had. So I had probably done most of the highlights in the southern part of the AT before, and just when I was in middle school, I just learned about the whole trail and was like, I want to do that someday.
That makes sense.
So at what point does the professional triathlon part cross into the equation, and what does that process even look like? Like, how does someone become a professional triathlete?
So I guess I first started, so after college, COVID hit, and I didn't really do any athletics or anything for like a year or so. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try to do my first marathon. So I trained and did a marathon, and I ended up qualifying for Boston.
Wow. What was your time?
My time was a 3:18.
This is your first marathon?
Yes.
You did a lot better than I did on my first marathon.
3:18 is, what is that, like a 7:15 mile average, 7:10, something like that?
Around there. I think maybe, yeah.
Yeah, that's so fast. That's crazy fast.
3
Maybe like
60
maybe 7:30. I'm
plus 15.
not sure.
Hold on. Come on, calculator, clear. Oh God, I don't want to go into math and notes.
7:26.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about, yeah, right.
That's so fast.
That's insane. Over 26 miles.
Yes.
That's the average. What's the fastest mile you've ever ran?
Oh, I haven't run a singular mile probably since high school, and that was like a 5:30.
Okay.
I don't think I could run a 5:30 pace for like 100 yards.
Never have.
Yeah.
Never have. Sorry, back to you.
Yeah, fast marathon.
Oh yeah,
Qualified
so
for the Boston.
yes, the first marathon I finished it because I was like, oh, a marathon seems impossible. Like running 26 miles like together, I finished it and I was like, that wasn't too bad.
What?
Like I want to try to do something that's even harder. So then I signed up for my first Ironman the next year. And so before that Ironman, I had only biked like 20 miles on a bike, just like a normal bike. And so I got a coach and I started training. And so then I completed my first Ironman. And I ended up qualifying for Kona, which is like the World Championships of Ironman. It's like the race a lot of people try to spend like their whole, as an age grouper, I guess their whole career trying to qualify for. It's like the Boston, I guess, of triathlons in a way.
You say it so nonchalantly.
So where was the first Ironman?
In Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay. Give me the splits. And also break down, is it a mile swim?
Okay, so for a full Ironman, it's a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, except the Chattanooga course at least was a 116 mile bike, and then a marathon run after that.
All right, so 2.5 miles. So what was the swim time?
Ooh, these are gonna be like rough estimates because I don't remember exactly, but I'd say about 55 minutes the swim time.
I have no
I don't know where to gauge that.
But yeah, I feel like that would take me a week.
Yeah, I don't know average wise. It's like a 1:30 minute 100 meters.
Yeah, I'm just gonna trust that that's very fast.
I don't spend a lot of time in the water.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then your bike?
And then the bike was 5 hours and 30 minutes, I think, around there.
That is fast. That part I know. And then your marathon?
The marathon was right under 4 hours, like 3:56
That's
or
insane
something.
that you can do that and then just close it out with a sub 4 hour marathon. Did you have like a goal time in mind? Like, were you going for a qualifying time, or were you just gonna see like how fast you could do it?
No, like my goal was just to finish it, because again in my mind I was like, an Ironman, that just seems crazy. Again, it was one of my my lifelong goals was to complete an Ironman at some point in my life, and so it was. I didn't think I would end up going that fast. My goal was actually, I think 12 hours was my goal. I think it ended up being like 10:30.
Wow.
And I really just wanted to finish it. And I ended up like just going, and I was like, this isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I did get like really nauseous on the bike at one point, but I think I was so worried about underfueling that I was overfueling, because the fourth discipline in an Ironman or triathlon is fueling, the nutrition part of it, because if you don't do that well and you hit a wall, then you can be out of a race.
Yeah.
What are the first 3 disciplines?
The swim, bike, run.
Oh, got it. The actual thing. Got it. Have you ever thought about FKTing or attempting an FKT? Because it seems like these things just come very naturally to you.
Yes. Honestly, I had thought about an FKT attempt of some. I read Jennifer Farr Davis's books, both Becoming Odysseia and her one that's more about her FKT and just the science behind long distance hiking. And I was like, oh, maybe I want to try to get an FKT someday. But then after actually hiking the Appalachian Trail, I'm kind of like, I don't know how those people do it. That is crazy. But maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
It's not the only one you could FKT.
Yeah, I have thought about some hikes in the Smokies since I live so close.
Yeah.
Looking at those.
Okay, so you qualify for Kona. Where in the journey are we to becoming a professional?
So that was in 2022. And so after that, I was kind of like, I was blown away, and I was like, okay, maybe I can try to become a professional a triathlete at this point. So then the season of 2023, I hired another coach, and I trained more, and I competed more, and then I qualified for my professional license in 2023.
Your professional what?
License. So I guess in the world of triathlons, you have to qualify for your professional license or professional card. And then once you qualify, you have to then apply. And when I got it, you have it for 3 years. I think now it's only 2 years, and then you have to re-qualify for it.
It's like a license to compete?
Yes. Yeah, basically.
So is there like a professional circuit of races, or how does that work?
Yes and no. I guess in triathlons, it's kind of divided in the pro world. It's divided into the short course season and I guess not season, but short course circuit and then like long course circuit. And the short course circuit is more of like these athletes do, like the same athletes do kind of these set races each year and compete that way. And those are more the Olympic distance, and the Olympic distance is around an 800-meter swim, a 40K bike, which is like 25-ish miles, and then a 10K run, like 6.2 miles. And then in the long course circuit, it's more half Ironmans and full Ironmans, and you're kind of competing for points within the races itself, and then at the end of the year, you'll just who has the most points wins, like the circuit.
Got it. And there's a purse based on how many points you have?
Yes.
Like your earnings are tied to the number of points that you have?
Yes.
So what does the top point getter get at the end of the season?
I would say, I don't remember. So the Ironman series, the top person I think got about $100,000.
Okay.
That's a good year.
Yeah.
How many people get money? Like, when does the purse dry?
Top 10, I think. Well, at least top 10, and then I think it trickled down to top 50 in the whole Ironman series circuit. But most races itself, top 10 or top 8 get money.
In, like, the individual races?
Yes.
So you can get paid out for the individual race and at the year end based on total points?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like a year-end bonus.
Yeah.
Is that the primary way of making money as a triathlete, or is it more like sponsorships and other things?
I would say more like sponsorships. Really, only the top, like, if you're like the top 10 athletes in the world, you can make a living off of being a professional triathlete. But besides that, it's really difficult to make any money or enough money to like live off of. I would say I was only a pro for 1 year, and I didn't earn anything. I didn't place high enough to earn prize money, and I didn't get any sponsorships. So yeah, it's a difficult sport to make a living off of.
How do you sustain it when that's the case? Like, do you just pack up and go, or is there, like, what's the trajectory of making it more sustainable?
Well, I guess a lot of pro triathletes have full-time jobs too.
So you were still working your job at this point as well?
Yes.
Aha.
Yeah.
So your job, full-time job, are you working 40 hours a week, 30, 50? Like, what does your average work week look like?
So as a civil engineer in the river management of TVA, I was working like 12-hour shifts because it's more of an operational job, because all the dams used to be staffed 24/7, and then with technology, they're like, we'll just have this one group be staffed 24/7, and then the workers at the dam are only there Monday through Thursday. So I was working night shifts and like weekend shifts, and so I was working a full 40 hours. I mean, give or take the number of hours, what type of shift I had the week. So I was doing that and training like 20 hours a week.
Wow.
So you're working night shifts, so you're not sleeping standard hours. What does a day look like for you in this routine? Because I imagine the training hours are probably all encompassing too.
Yes. Well, I guess a night shift day, I worked from 5 to 5 usually.
Oh, wow.
So I would usually wake up around like 11-ish and then go do a workout, either like bike, swim, run. And then I would go to work. I was, I guess, lucky in the fact that my job allowed us to like go to the gym for like 30 minutes during work, just the YMCA that was nearby. So then I would go to the gym and either lift or do like 30 minutes on the treadmill during work. Then I would get off work at 5 a.m. and then go to sleep around 6.
So you get 5 hours of sleep a night.
Yes.
Damn.
That is commitment.
Yeah. It goes back to our question of the day.
Yeah. What was
You were thriving off of 5 hours of sleep, which is, I did a period of 5 hours of sleep per night, and I turned into a terrible person. Sean's can attest to that. It's impressive that you're able to.
Well, yeah.
We would intentionally leave him off group chats because I was like, just don't poke the bear.
Bear's cranky.
Funny.
Bear's very sleepy.
Bear's cranky. Leave him be.
I will say it was not sustainable, and that's why I got completely burnt out, quit everything, and hiked the AT.
Okay.
So.
That was a natural transition into the AT story. So did you feel the exercise was burning you out from work? Work was burning you out from the triathlons? Both?
Oh, I would say both. Yeah, so when I first started the job working the 12-hour shifts, I was not exercising, not doing the triathlons yet, and I really enjoyed it, because when you work 12 hours and then you're off, like you work 3 to 4 days and then you're off 3 to 4 days, and during that time I didn't have to think about work. I could just like go have fun, I could travel. But then once I started incorporating the training and then doing 2-a-day training, like training before work and then working and training after work, and then only getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep like 3 to 4 days, I would then have the time off would be like one day just totally trying to recover from not sleeping enough. And then my other 2 days would be like a long run or a long bike ride and then recovering again. So yeah, that was not sustainable. And then once I became a professional, I was also trying to be competitive and go to a lot of races. So a lot of my weekends I would be traveling the whole time and racing, and then coming back only getting like 5 to 6 hours of sleep for a few nights.
Are you having to pay entry fees for all these races?
Yes.
How much does that run you when you're doing this at that scale? Like, how much are you spending on these races?
So one benefit of being a professional athlete, at least in the Ironman, the long course circuit, and doing the Ironmans, is that you only have to pay one set fee, and you can enter as many Ironmans as you want, and you can drop out easily.
Huh.
Whereas like as an age group athlete, which is anyone who's not a professional, they have to pay every entry fee, and it's more difficult to get into races because they can fill up like even 6 months before the actual race.
Oh, wow.
Or yeah, even maybe before then. So when I did it, I was a professional in 2024. The price was $1,200 to compete as many Ironmans as you wanted. But I think now a full Ironman is $800, or maybe a half Ironman is $800. Yeah, they're like $500 to $800 per race.
I mean, if you put that into perspective, that's no different than getting a ski pass. Like, for someone who loves to ski,
Sure.
that is how much they cost.
Yeah.
Stupidly. But then you get as much as you want, just like that. So that does make sense.
Who's like the current LeBron James of triathletes, male or female?
Oh, and the female, definitely Taylor Knibb. She is a U.S. athlete, and she lives, I think, in Boulder. She trains in Boulder, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
She is super fast. I think they just had the first race, one of the first races of the season, Oceanside, 70.3. she broke her record from last year, and it was like a 4 hours and 1 minute, I think, or something close to that, which is super fast. The times just keep getting faster. I guess to put that kind of in perspective, my fastest time was like 4:30. Wait, never. Maybe 4:30, maybe 4:45. I don't remember now, but yeah, she's super fast.
I can't even find her online.
I
But I
found
only
it.
searched Instagram.
I found it.
That's not a search engine.
Nib with a K.
What?
Oh yes, yeah. the
Where do you
K.
put the K?
KNIBB.
Oh.
If somehow Google auto-suggested that for me, they could tell that we're talking about triathlons. It's like, oh, actually, I got you, bro. To your point about the
Found her.
athletes making more from sponsorships, her bio is just a list of like 7 different sponsors. So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you burn out from this, which makes perfect sense. I would have lasted a week doing what you just described. Were there any like breaking points, like clear signs of burnout, or was it just like a slow sense of like you could feel your mental health slowly fading?
I think it kind of progressed. So I also like to be social. I'm a social person, so I was trying to have a full-time job, train, and then also still go to all the social events and like, when friends have parties, like try to go hang out with them. And I also was in like a long distance relationship that summer, and I think just the combination of trying to do all that, I had too much on my plate. And I started having these episodes of like I would get like dizzy, like feeling like I was gonna pass out, and then like I couldn't breathe. And at first I was
Is that like a panic attack?
yes.
Yeah.
So it turned out I was having panic attacks or anxiety attacks. At first I was like, oh, I think it's probably I'm just not getting enough sleep, but it'll be okay. Like next week I don't have to work and I can just recover and sleep. And then it kind of got to the point I was on a plane on a way to one of my races, and I had one of the anxiety attacks, which was like really scary, like on a plane because you're like confined and.
Chances.
I've had a panic attack on a plane. They had to bring me. You tell your story.
And so then I got to the race and I was still feeling weird, and I ended up going to medical like the day before race because I was like, oh, I didn't know what it was at the time because I'd never really had it like a panic attack, and I was like, I thought it was something to do with my health or my heart, and I was like, I don't want to pass out during the race and like have to go to the hospital or anything. So I went to the medical tent the day before the race. I got an EKG. Oh, so and this race was in Canada, in Mont Tremblant, and I guess it's the French-speaking area.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got an EKG. They couldn't read it there at the site. They had to like phone in a doctor at a hospital, and they were like,
Lucky that this happened in Canada, where you can actually get this done for free.
Imagine the guy running the EKG. What does it say? That's funny.
And so they're like, your EKG is abnormal. Like, we suggest that you don't race tomorrow. So then I was worried I had some heart issue. And so then as soon as I got back home, I went to a cardiologist, and they're like, yes, your EKG is abnormal, but it's like a normal abnormality.
Okay.
It's right bundle branch something. It's like my right ventricle like beats before my left or something like that. But it's totally fine.
It's like being goofy-footed, but for your heart.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. That's fine. Like my heart's fine. Then I went and got blood work done because I was like, I'm training a lot. Like maybe I'm just like missing some kind of vitamin or nutrient that I need. My blood work came back fine, and so then I realized, it was just like having anxiety attacks because I was pushing my body to its limit and not giving enough time to rest and recover and sleep.
Totally. Yeah. The stress load on that sounds outrageous.
Yeah.
And then if you're sleeping 5 hours per night, that's a recipe for not good things, it sounds like. Okay, so abnormal heart, panic attacks on flights. At what point do you realize, like, I'm just gonna hit the reset button and try something new?
So that was probably June, July. The triathlon season was from April to, I was gonna do a race in September. And so I was like, okay, I took a few weeks kind of trying to recover. I was like, okay, I'll get back to it. And so I was training for a full Ironman in September. And as I was doing that, And then the day before my Ironman race, I got broken up with.
Ugh.
And that was like the catalyst of like, okay, I'm quitting. So in my mind, I always wanted to hike the Appalachian Trail, but I wanted to do it as like a single person, like just trying to figure out life in like early 20s or like part of my 20s. But then when I was dating that guy, I just like couldn't imagine myself leaving him for 6 months to like go on a thru hike. And so as soon as like that ended, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go hike the AT now.
Yeah, that's good news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good way to get your mind off it.
Yeah.
Also, what a jerk. Did he know you had the Ironman the next day?
Yes, and he was also a triathlete, so he
Ooh.
knew the pressure and like
He couldn't just wait
Yeah, I don't know.
until it was done?
What's his name? Let's say
Yeah.
the name out loud.
Tell me his address.
Somewhere here, as I don't know, as I haven't talked to him since then, but he was living in Colorado at the
Okay,
time.
we'll find him.
Yeah.
If you're in the market for stylish, affordable shades that actually hold up on trail, listen up. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses brand on a mission to make premium eyewear accessible to everyone. And they've got over 300,000 five-star reviews to back that up. Polarized lenses with super clear optics, durable frames, solid hinges, and clean classic styles that look sharp on and off trail. And my favorite part? Their Lost and Broken Protection Program. Drop them in a creek crossing, sit on them at camp, leave them in a hitch. They've got you covered from day one. Just reach out and they'll send you a new pair. No stress, no hassle. Finally, sunglasses you don't have to worry about babying on trail. Discount time. Backpacker Radio listeners, Shady Rays is offering you their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code TREK for 40% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. That's 40% off 2 or more pairs at shadyrays.com. Code TREK, T-R-E-K. This deal is only good for a limited time, so don't wait.
Okay, so breakup happens, you said September?
Yes.
Okay, and then, so you're on the trail September of 23, of 24.
24.
Yeah, okay, so then AT following spring, what's your start date?
April 13th. So yeah, coming up on the 1-year anniversary in a few days.
And this was, you mentioned, your first, like, long-distance trip of any kind.
Yes.
Give me your version of the early days on trail. Like, obviously, physically, this is not going to be that big of an issue for you, but, like, there's a learning curve in a lot of other regards to this.
Yes. Well, I guess the first days on trail, so I started off at Amalacola. When you like weigh, you check in, you weigh your backpack and all that. My backpack weighed 42 pounds.
That's too much.
Yeah, it was really heavy. So I didn't do a lot of research about gear and things like that. I'm not like a gearhead at all. I just went to REI and was like, what would be the best?
Here's my credit card.
Yeah.
Figure it out for me.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But I knew I could do it like physically. But the first week or so, I still took it easy. I feel like I could have like done 20 miles, but I started off, I think I did like 12 miles and like 8 miles and 15. And then I started hiking with this group that also started the same day, and they were in pretty good shape and kind of wanted to go faster. Within the first week, we like started doing 20. We did a 20 like on day 7 of the trail.
Yeah.
That's not shocking at all, given your background.
Right.
I imagine that. I mean, I hiked on the AT with someone who came from a rowing background and just thighs of steel. So I imagine that the rowing and all that just really put you in good shape to start the trail. Did you feel like you were physically like in it when you started, or did you feel like there was a curve to catch up?
Oh, I was definitely physically already, in it. I trained a little bit beforehand, like making sure I like lifted heavier weights, less cardio, more strength training, I guess, to also help with like injury prevention and all that.
Smart.
And so I was ready to hit the trail physically. And at the beginning, the 42 pounds did not faze me. I was just like still keeping up with everyone, or passing people.
I'm surprised you didn't get a trail name dedicated to a 42-pound pack.
Yeah.
Were people making comments?
Not really, but I guess at the beginning of the AT, there's like a wide variety of people.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Starting the trail in that good of shape, and I imagine you were already pretty set in a routine or used to a routine with your background. What were the things that took you by surprise? Because I feel like a lot of the things that take most people by surprise probably weren't hurdles for you.
Well, at the beginning, I guess nothing at the beginning physically like really fazed me. Even I had terrible blisters the whole first month on trail, but I just like kept hiking even though my feet hurt with like every step. But I will say by the end of the trail, it really wore on me. Like up in like New Hampshire, Vermont, I got fatigued and it was rough then. But I never got trail legs. I will say that. I think that's kind of the difference. I think most people like come in and they like kind of get trail legs a month in and then they're hiking faster. And I was kind of consistent until the end when I was kind of fatigued.
Well, you started with trail legs and you
Yes.
didn't hit like God mode. Yeah.
Was it confusing to get blisters? Because I imagine doing triathlons, like you probably feel like going into this maybe that you've got your stuff sorted and you know how to prevent that. So was that surprising for you?
Yes, that was kind of surprising because I run like a ton and so I don't get blisters when I run. But I actually think it's because I just bought some shoes and I went on one hike and it was fine for that one hike. And I think at the time I got like toe bows because I was like, the wide toe box, I hear like your feet swell, you need a wide toe box. But I don't think I needed them that early on in trail.
Yeah, the zero drop can be an adjustment too if you had that.
I'm curious, you strolling into mountain crossings with your 40-pound pack, did they have a heyday with you or did they give you feedback? Were you looking for feedback?
I guess I didn't do a shakedown or anything, but I'm pretty sure the little man there was laughing at me when I like hung up my bag. And
Yeah.
I did get rid of a few things. I started out with a tarp. The reason I did that is I had
Wait, you had a 42-pound pack and your shelter was a tarp?
No, it was just I had a full tent and then also a tarp.
Like a construction tarp?
Like a tarp, if you're like going on an overnight like car camping thing, like a tarp you would set up
like a
over.
shelter, like a basic shelter.
Okay, I'm just making sure it's not like a Home Depot, we put it down when we paint kind of tarp. That thing's heavy.
Who convinced you that you needed a tarp in addition to your tent?
So I had a coworker. He hiked the trail in like 1999 or something like that, and he said, "You need a tarp. You know, it's gonna rain sometimes. You just want to set up a tarp and like sit under it when it's raining." And I definitely didn't. I feel like maybe he didn't have a tent when he was hiking. So
yeah, there's some important context that he was forgetting there.
Yeah.
Time had passed.
And for like doing it in the 90s, I'm sure you could sleep in shelters and have most of them to yourself or like a couple of other people at that point on the trail. Okay, so what other ridiculous things are you hauling around? Sean's famously brought a hammock in addition to a tent on the PCT.
Yeah, I brought a hammock to the desert.
On the
It's like when you say it out loud, it doesn't make any fucking sense. But I thought I'd have a lot of free. It wasn't even that I thought, hey, this is a desert. There are no trees. It was more I thought I would have so much more free time that I would just be hanging out in a hammock for half the day. So all around stupid.
Yeah, a hammock would be heavy along with a tent.
Yeah, the emotional baggage of bad decisions. What else was in your pack?
Oh, so I got rid of the tarp. I had emergency like waterproof matches. I didn't need those.
That's a classic first thru hike thing. I think I had those as well.
I think some Vaseline. I got rid of that at mountain crossings. And I think that was it there.
Okay.
I had a shakedown about halfway through. One of my friends, he was like, "I'm making you have a shakedown."
Yeah.
So what
did you get rid of at that point?
At that point, I got rid of my rain jacket because it was in the heat of the summer. It rained and it was fine getting wet.
Sure.
I got rid of my rain jacket, maybe some extra rope things that I had, some extra carabiners that I didn't really need. My hairbrush, I got rid of that halfway through. It's like, I take a shower once every week or two. I don't need a hairbrush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
funny.
probably some like miscellaneous tokens that I collected along the way. Somehow I collected a lot of sunglasses for some reason along the way.
That's funny.
Did you add anything to your pack?
No, not along the trail.
Okay.
So you originally had applied for one of the girl stuff episodes, and you had given us a few girl stuff related stories. One of them was that you struggled with missing girlhood on trail. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. So on the AT, it's mostly guys, and I don't know if this statistic is true once the actual data came out, but halfway through I heard there was like a way higher percentage of guys than girls that hiked last year. Maybe like 1 in 4. Maybe?
I can get you our survey.
At a glance, it sounds incredibly accurate, but Zach will tell you some better math.
Gender distribution, 63% men.
Okay.
So 2/3
2/3,
ish.
okay.
Yeah.
And I guess being an engineer, I'm like used to being around a lot of guys, and then even the athletic sports I do are dominantly guys too. But being out there on the trail all the time, especially my second trail family was just me and 5 guys, and they were really cool and fun to hang out with. But I'd say about 4 months into the trail or so, I was like, I just want someone to talk to, like tell everything to, maybe like, I don't want to say gossip a little, but have like girl chat and like what's going on, like do you like this guy, like just girl talk like that. And like I feel like I didn't have that for most of the trail.
Yeah.
Did you find it?
A little bit, I would say. Yeah, there is a few people I hiked with a couple days with, and yeah, it was 2 girls, and it was really fun. We set up one point, and we were like, this is the girl corner, and yeah.
Nice.
I guess to that point, you also mentioned that you had a pink blazing story.
Yes. This is, yeah, I feel like a kind of funny story in a way. So I will say I was going on the trail, and I was like, okay, I'm, single, I'm gonna have fun, there's gonna be fit guys out there hiking the AT. I will say I think I only thought like maybe like 5 guys on the whole trail were attractive.
Malnourished bearded man is not your type?
No. Well, that's what an ultra runner is. That's what ultra runners look like.
True.
But I don't know. I guess all those like ultra running guys were just way ahead of me, because I started April 13th, so that's like behind the bubble and all that. So it was like a month in. It was right before trail days, and I guess in Hampton, Tennessee, Riff Raff, that like club, I guess.
Gang.
The gang, yeah. They were having like a pre-trail days like hangout, which was like 40-ish miles before trail days. And I was like, okay, like the first month I was hiking, I kept hiking with these people who just wanted to hike. And I wanted to like be more social and relax, like dilly-dally and stuff like that. So I got to the Riff Raff thing, and they had it was just, I guess, a fun evening. And then I met this one guy, and I was like, oh my, this is like the first attractive guy I've met on trail. And so we started talking, and he was like talking about like being active and running, and how he like the next day he was gonna do the Damascus Dash, I think is what it's called.
What's that?
It's like the miles from Hampton all the way to Damascus. It's like 46 miles, I think.
Okay.
He was like, I'm going to try to set the FKT on this thing. And I was like, okay, that's cool. We talked, and then the next day he ended up not doing that. He started hiking with me and like the group I was hiking with. At the time I was hiking with me and like 5 guys. And it was like fun. We were like talking, get to knowing each other, and then he was like, I would like to take you out like on a real date when we get to trail days. I was
Wow.
like, we'll like get some loner clothes, like dress up. I was like, oh, that sounds like fun.
This is like 24 hours after meeting him?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And
Kudos to the guy for doing that.
And so I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds like fun. And so then we hiked like 20 miles that day. And then the next day was hiking a marathon into Damascus. And then we were hiking, and it kind of just seemed like he was kind of repeating some of the same things, like kind of starting to, I was like, oh, maybe this guy's not as charming as I thought, like kind of getting annoying.
Well, like he's saying like the same lines over and over, or he's forgetting he's telling you stories and he's retelling them?
Both.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and just kind of like overly excited about like trail days. I don't know. And
you're getting the ick.
Yes, and so I started to get the ick. I was like, oh, yeah.
You haven't even gotten to town yet, and you still have your date.
Yes.
Oh my God, what do you do?
So then we go to like trail days, and the date never really happened. We kind of got to trail days, and we hung out a little bit, but I went and I hung out with like my first trail family. That's who I mostly hung out. He hung out with people because he had done the Florida Trail. He was doing the ECT, so he like done that before. So he hung out with those people. We kind of did our own thing. I think maybe he could tell I was being more standoffish. The date like never happened. I guess he didn't bring it up again, and I was like, I'm not gonna bring it up again. And then we were at some place like hanging out together, and somebody was like, so when, because they thought we were a couple, and they're like, so when are you guys like leaving trail days? And I was like, oh, I'm leaving tomorrow. And he was like, oh, I thought we were leaving on Monday. Yeah, he was like using we, and I was like, well, no, me and like the guys I'm hiking with, our plan is to leave on Sunday. And so then that next day he was like, well, I haven't resupplied or anything. That was like Saturday night. And so then on Sunday morning, I guess I was very clear. I was like, I don't see this as a romantic thing.
You dumped him.
Yes. And so, but then he was like, well, can I still hike with you guys? And at the time I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I could tell he just like, he wanted people to hike with. And I didn't know if it was just because I had the ick because I knew he liked me and I didn't like him back, and thought maybe the guys I was hiking with also liked hiking with him. And so then me and the guys I was hiking with, we left on Sunday morning. And he was like, oh, I still got to resupply. I might catch up to you. Well, no, then I think he did say, I was like, oh, I think I'm going to leave tomorrow on Monday. So in my mind, I was like, okay, yay, I'll get to hike out. I don't really have to deal with, like, having to be like, no, we don't want to hike with you. And so that night, we hiked, I think, 16 miles to whatever that shelter is. We got there at, like, 8 p.m., and he did not show up that night. And I was like, okay, yay, like, okay, that was, like, fun few days, like, with that drama, but I don't have to deal with that anymore. The next morning, we got up and started hiking. We were 2 miles in, and he caught up to us.
How?
He
hiked through the night?
Well, yeah, kind of. Actually, part of the story is he had left, gotten his resupply, left, like, in the afternoon. He was hiking on the Creeper Trail to kind of try to go faster and catch up, but because Helene, the bridges on the Creeper Trail were closed, so he even tried to like, cross them. He ended up falling in the water at one of the trail, like, bridges that you're, not really supposed to cross at the moment. Lost some things. Evidently, he went back, had to hike 6 miles back to Damascus to go get some more food or something, whatever he lost. Then he hiked, like, 6 more miles, and then got up super early, like, hiked 12 miles, like 9 or 12 miles to meet us at 2 miles in.
Oh, jeez. When did he finally put 2 and 2 together? That, I imagine you didn't go to Katahdin with him.
Oh, no.
So when did he fall into the realm of acceptance?
It was a while later.
How many miles? Like hundreds?
Kind of, but it, like, was, like, broken up. So then we hiked with him, and so the trail family I was hiking with, and then there was a few other people we had met at trail days that were hiking the same mileage through, like, the Grayson Highlands. That was a wonderful day. We all had fun. And then that night he was like, so what are your plans for tomorrow? And at that point, I really had no idea, because the guys I was hiking with, they were starting to do consistent 20s, and I didn't want to do that. Like, they were all like 6 foot, like really fast, like could easily do 20 miles. And so I didn't know if I wanted to hike with them or like, and I didn't want to just go straight into hiking with these other people. But I also was like, I don't want to tell him I'm hiking alone and then him just like attached to me. And so then I hiked with those guys. I guess we were like the Gummy Cluster family. We called ourselves the next day. And then the one guy who was pink blazing, he for some reason just like left. He didn't really say anything. He just left and like hiked ahead of us that day. So like I got to camp and he wasn't there, and I was like, okay, good. He's like ahead of us for good now. And then that next morning we woke up and I just had this feeling that he was going to be at like the next road crossing or like the next spot, which was the partnership shelter or in the visitor center there. And so I told the guys I was hiking with, I was like, I really hope this one guy is like not there. And they're like, oh, like, thank goodness, like we thought you like actually liked hiking with him. Like we were also kind of got the ick and didn't want to hike with him. And so then we showed up and he was there, and of course he was asking like, so what are your all's plans and all that. And so then after that I tried to like be nice, but then also like firm, like we're like doing this, but we are like our own like trail family. Like I'm sorry, I should have like asked the guys first before saying like yes, you can hike with us. But like if we see you places, we'll say hi and like be nice and friendly, but we just don't want to plan like every single night like hiking where we're going, I guess, with you. And then I guess he got the message at that point, and he was like, oh, okay. And so he hiked on. Then a few miles into that day, like later after that, he texted me. Well, our plan was going to Marion, the hostel in Marion. We're gonna go get the colossal pizzas at the one pizza place, and it was gonna be like my last night with the Gummy Cluster guys before they started hiking crazy miles, and I was not gonna do that. And so the pink blazing guy, he was like, okay, he was gonna still stay at the same hostel. And then he texted me, he's like, sorry if I'm like acting weird, I just got like some bad news from back home. And at first I was like, oh, is this guy just trying to like be sympathetic in a way, like the boy that cried wolf in a way? But no, I think he actually did get bad news, which is just bad timing. And so then that night, he stayed at the hostel, like nothing bad, or it was just cordial, it was fine. And then that next day he woke up, and I think just the combination of everything, he ended up hiking 74 miles. He hiked for 24/7,
He wanted to put some distance between you.
24 hours. I think that, and then also just the processing the bad news. And at first, when he said that, I was like, I don't know if that's true or not, but I do have confirmation from other people who saw him at the shelter he ended up at.
Wow.
Or the place he ended up at. And he hiked 74 miles. Yeah.
That's so hard, because it's like, no, like the trail is the trail. It's one line. Everyone's walking on it. The stop points are the stop points. And it's not like, like you're using the same thing. You can't tell someone like, hey, you can't go to the shelter. And I'm not saying you were, but you can't be like, hey, don't go where we're going, because so many shelters are spaced in the way that people end up at them, but so that's hard for you to have that conversation. But also on his part, I can empathize with him, because we've had plenty of dudes on this podcast who, like, when we ask them what their approach is to trying to let a girl know that they're interested on trail, this is their worst freaking nightmare. Yeah. From like the collective like years of us doing this and having these conversations with multiple people, this is like the fear that everyone is like, well, I'd hate for this,
Yes.
Shooting your shot, and then a whole group of people being icked out by
bad.
him.
Yeah.
So at that point I did. Yeah, I felt bad the whole thing. Like I didn't want to just like exclude him, because it is like a social thing, but at the same time, I didn't want to lead him on.
You gotta set a boundary. What would you? Okay, now I'm sure people are listening to this and thinking, I'm not going to tell the girl on trail that I like her because now I'm afraid and she's in the shelter with me and I'm listening to this episode and oh my God. What advice would you give someone to help them get a hint faster? Like, what are signs that you think that could have been picked up on that might have been missed that are like very clear indicators of I've changed my mind?
Ooh,
Good question.
I think the one thing is kind of, I guess I was like kind of pretty clear. And I think he like respected that. But I guess there is more to the story. It keeps going after that. Yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
So then through like the whole state of Virginia, he would kind of text a few times being like, "Where are you guys at?" And I wouldn't respond or give very vague answers. And then I showed up to Harper's Ferry. And I was just walking down the street, and then he was there, and he was like, "Hey," and at the time I was like, he said, "Oh, I haven't been doing well with the heat. Like I've been here 6 days. Didn't think anything about it. Like I guess he followed me to the gear shop and like was trying to talk to me, and I was talking to him back. And then the next day I did the 4-state challenge. I got up at like 4 a.m., hiked all day till 1 a.m. the next day. My plan was to stay at a hostel, the Sunflower Cottage, I think. I didn't get there during the night, like early enough for her to pick me up. So I just slept at the border, like the Maryland-Pennsylvania border. And so the next morning she picks me up, takes me to the hostel at like 9 a.m. He is there. And he was like, "I did the 4-state challenge too." There was no way. Like, I didn't see him all day long. I was literally hiking from 4 a.m. to 1 a.m. the next morning. Didn't see him at all. Like, he was not at the line. And he just
Did he know
somehow,
that you were doing it?
Yes, and he knew I was doing the 4-state challenge. And so somehow he just ended up there. And I'm pretty sure he waited the 6 days in Harper's Ferry for me, because there was also, he had done this similar thing to another girl on trail and waited for her 4 days in Gatlinburg.
Oh.
So it's starting to feel a little bit less bad, I guess.
Yeah, so this is less harmless guy who can't take a hint and more now someone is affecting your hike because they are going out of their way to align themselves with you, and you've clarified that you don't want that to happen.
Yes.
Is this impacting your experience?
For me, it didn't, because I was never felt like unsafe. I mean, just like a little annoyed a little bit, but I guess I always had other people I was hiking with and who I could talk to and kind of, I don't want to like shield me, but like so it didn't affect me at all, really.
Yeah. It's a tough situation because on the one hand, like, you obviously want to be nice to the guy, but on the other hand, it probably would have been an easier Band-Aid to rip off just to be like, "I'm sorry, I don't want to spend time with you." Or maybe that's a little too harsh.
Yeah, but then you come off as like she can come across nuts if she's like, "No, you didn't do the 4th-state challenge." You know, because what about the slim chance that he did, and now she thinks that he's so obsessed with her that she's going to be like, "No, you didn't." That's not a win.
Yeah. I'm just...
You know, am I right in that? Where it's like if you call someone out on something that, I don't know. I'm thinking about what I would do, and I would be like, as much as I know that this probably didn't happen, the slim chance that it could have would make me look terrible if I was like, "Hey, get the hint."
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just think potentially for personalities like that, like, you have to be very direct.
Sure.
And like,
Yes.
I think of like the Jim Carrey meme from Dumb and Dumber. He's like, "So what are the odds that you could get with a guy with like me, like 1 in 1,000?" And she's like, "More like 1 in 1,000,000." He's like, "So you're saying there's a chance?"
There's a chance. But it sounds like you very clearly spelled out, like, not only is this not happening, but my hiking group and me actually are doing our own thing.
Yeah. That's a tough situation.
It was a weird.
Does it end there, or does it keep going?
It ends there. So I think he got the hint there. So there was another guy who did the 4-state challenge. We didn't really hike together, but off and on. And he kind of like, I don't want to say told, but I guess he told him off in a way of like, he was like, I don't believe that you did the 4-state challenge, because this guy also said like he had stopped at a pool party like during the 4-state challenge. I was like, there's no pool. I don't know. So there was just a whole crazy thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so I think then he got the hint
Yeah.
after the one guy was like, I don't believe you
Yeah.
and all that.
Yeah, I guess the takeaway here for not being this guy is just like believe what we tell you. Like, you told him you didn't want to hike with him and you weren't interested, and it sounds like he didn't fully believe it.
I think he respected me when maybe no, not
That
the
was
hiking
Damascus.
part. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then he kept going, yeah. So I think he kept thinking there would be a chance. I think also he
So
wanted
you're saying there's a chance.
just wanted people to hike with.
Yeah.
Was having
Yeah.
That, when you say
Yeah.
that part, that makes me feel bad for him.
I know.
'cause-
I can't decide how to feel about him.
Yeah, it's okay to feel conflicted. I feel conflicted.
I feel conflicted. I feel, well, because, I don't know, no one wants to be in that position. But that
Yeah.
also doesn't make it okay to, like, affect someone else's hike and make them uncomfortable. But also, it sounds like he doesn't maybe fully grasp that was
The
what
subtle
he was
cues.
doing.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like it does seem intentional, but it doesn't seem intentional.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it seems like he intentionally did things to wait and meet, but he didn't intentionally. Like, it just seems like he missed some cues.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
What's your read on the situation?
Yeah, you tell me.
Oh, my read. I think I don't know. There's other perspectives, I guess, because other stories I heard before I met him. But my perspective is, I think he just wanted people to hike with, and like having a hard time finding people to hike with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stinks.
Yeah.
Let's shift to a hookup story. I'm assuming this is a different person. Is this we can skip the subject if you don't want to talk about it.
Yes, I guess I'll skip that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
How about a total breakdown?
Yeah, tell us
Oh.
about your biggest mentee bee.
Okay. So I guess I mentioned earlier the end of the trail was I got really fatigued, and I guess that's where I struggled the most. Because at the beginning I was like very in shape, and then I think part of it was the heavy pack. I would probably, if I would go back and change anything, I would definitely try to get my pack weight down. By the time I got to Vermont, I just felt in the inclines, once you get to New England, like the steep inclines and down the downhills, I'm terrible at just straight uphill. And so I would feel just very fatigued, I guess. And the people I was hiking with, they were like, I guess by that point everyone was pretty fatigued too and tired. But there were some people that were like, loved uphills and things like that. But this was one day in Vermont. We had hiked, we had just taken 2 zeros. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll be so refreshed after taking 2 zeros in Vermont. And we were like, we're hiking 17 miles to top of, I think it's Lucy's Lookout in Vermont. It's like a little cabin, and then it has stair like a ladder to a little lookout spot at the top.
I remember climbing a ladder to the top of a cabin, and there was like seats at the top. I don't remember what state it was in. It's like a steep ladder, and it's like a bird's nest kind of.
Yes, that is it.
I don't know why I felt like that was Pennsylvania. No, but I think that was it. And it's like a cabin.
Yes.
And this is like up onto the roof.
Mm-hmm, yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're thinking the same thing.
But we didn't get dropped off. So we were staying at at that point, my trail family, his family lives in Vermont. We stayed at their house for 2 days, and then they dropped us back off on the trail. I think later than I would have liked, because we were hiking straight up the mountain to that lookout, and I think it was 17 miles. I started hiking. I fell behind my trail family, and then it was going good, and then it was starting to get dark. I hate the dark. That's my least favorite thing about through hiking is being in the woods in the dark.
Same.
And I hate night hiking. I'm okay if I'm with other people, but night hiking alone is my worst fear. And so it was starting to get dark, and I still had 5 more miles, I think, and then I had to get a thing of water. There's no water at where we were staying, so I filled up a bunch of water. My pack was super heavy with a full resupply. There's tons of water, going up this hill, and it was getting dark, and I was exhausted, I guess just from the hill, even though I just had 2 days off. And then I just started having, a panic attack, like a full-on, like I was wheezing and like hyperventilating and crying, like so much so I like tried to keep calling like the people I was hiking with, and finally I think one of them answered, and I was just like, crying, and luckily they're so nice, the people, and like two of them like came back and they like
Aww.
met me, like I think I was really close by then, like half a mile, but they were like, are you okay? Like they were really worried once they started hearing me.
Yeah, those can be scary. That's really sweet that they did that. Was this the first one that you got on trail?
Yes, it was the only panic attack I had on trail.
Could you pinpoint anything that like triggered it, or was it just out of the blue completely?
Oh, I think it was just the fatigue and then hiking in the dark.
Yeah.
Yes.
How does the fatigue of a thru hike compare to like all the training that you're doing for your triathlons?
Oh, I think they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
In a way, yeah. At least by the end of a thru hike. So I would say a lot of people like do the AT. They've never done anything physically like that, or during the thru hike. And I had people I was hiking with. They're like, I'm like so tired today. Like I don't want to like walk another step. And in my mind, I was like, well, the bad days I had on thru hiking was like every day when I was trying to do the full-time job and being training as a professional triathlete. It was like every day I felt tired like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I turned my mic down on accident. I'm back. Because you mentioned that you felt like you never really got your trail, like you didn't like level up at any point. Why do you suppose that is? Is that because you started in such good shape and like there wasn't improvement to be had, or is thru hiking just by its nature so different than triathloning? I don't even know what the verb is there, but
I think it's just I started off in good shape, and over time it just wore down my body instead of increasing it. And then
how does, I imagine you had some pretty strict rules for fueling as a triathlete, because you mentioned that there was a very fine balance about like the fourth discipline being fueling. Did you carry that into thru hiking, or does that shift a bit? Like I imagine obviously you need more food while thru hiking compared to triathlon racing.
Ooh, I guess the biggest difference was just the type of food. Like, when you're thru hiking, you're eating a bunch of junk food most of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to do a good job of like, I would get like the protein oatmeal and like have protein bars and try to get like dried fruit. But when I was Ironman training, I would try to eat healthy. Like, lots of fruits and vegetables, and then also a lot of carbs to keep fueled. But actually when I was Ironman training, I would eat like a pint of ice cream almost every day just because my body needed those calories.
Yeah. Did you have a go-to?
Oh, the Talenti chocolate chip raspberry.
Okay.
Raspberry chocolate chip, yeah.
Talenti makes good stuff. So I imagine the half-gallon challenge was a cakewalk for you.
Oh, so I thought it would be, because I was like, I eat pints of ice cream every day, but the half-gallon, I finished the half-gallon challenge. I don't remember I think it took me like an hour and 30 minutes to do it, though.
That's dedication. At that point, it's melting. You're drinking a milkshake.
Yes.
Yeah. Why do you think it took you so long?
I have a small stomach. Like, people joke about it, like, even, my trail family, they're like, are you even a hiker? Like, where's your hiker hunger? Like, like this huge, big meal, I wouldn't be able to finish it, whereas, like, everyone else could. I've always been, like, more of a snacker, and then I can't eat like I eat like a normal sized meal for normal people, but not like a hiker
a thru-hiker size portion.
Yes.
So you're not devouring like 4,000 plus calories per day on trail.
Ooh, I never added anything up, but possibly.
Yeah.
But maybe not.
Yeah. I wonder if you had added more calories, if that would have benefited you. Because I know you have a note here about you were worried about losing weight on trail.
Yes, yeah, I was really worried about losing weight because I was like, I don't have any weight to lose.
Yeah.
But I actually ended up gaining weight, and I think some of it was, like muscle.
For sure, yeah.
But I think some of it was fat too.
Interesting.
That's an accomplishment.
Yeah. That's just the difference between eating junk food versus trying to eat like healthy off trail.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it was more calories.
Yeah. So did you then lose weight after your thru hike?
No, because then I was kind of really inactive for a month, just recovering, and I gained a little bit more weight. But
okay.
Yeah.
So do you feel like the thru hiking bug has bit you? Like, do you see this as an ongoing lifestyle, or is this just like a fun chapter?
That is a good question, and I've had a lot of people ask me that recently because I just did a section of the Arizona Trail, and a lot of people on the Arizona Trail have done a lot of other hikes before. But at the end of the AT, I was like, I don't want to go home. Like, if I could have gone and done the PCT directly after that, I think I would have. But then I kind of got back to real life, and I was like, oh, I actually like missed it at home. But I think now, because I currently work at a running store, and I'm starting to pursue triathlon coaching. And so now that I'm like kind of excited about that career opportunity, through hiking has kind of been put on a pause.
Yeah.
But I do see myself like hiking the PCT someday, and definitely like the Colorado Trail, like maybe some of the more like the smaller trails where you can still do like a month or two hiking and then still like train like for 6 months and like do more triathlon marathon type things.
Yeah.
Might I recommend some unsolicited advice, but based on your resume so far, if you're going to do the Colorado Trail, before you do that, and where you live, do the Bartram Trail. I have not done it, but so far, if you do that, your hikes will be alphabetical.
Okay.
Appalachian Trail, Arizona Trail, you're alphabetical so far. So all you got to do is cross off a B, and then you go get the C.
Yeah, do the first alphabet.
And then you have to find something what's a D trail?
There's got to be a Delaware Trail.
No, there's got to be something obvious.
The Denver Orbital Trail.
Shut up. Shut up.
It counts.
No, but that would be fun.
Wait, where is that trail at?
The Denver Orbital Trail?
No, the one
Bartram
with
Trail?
Yeah.
It goes from somewhere to Cheowa Bald.
Oh, okay.
The Trek just put something out about this.
We have
today.
a list of U.S. long trails. There's not a D.
No way.
I mean, I'm sure if you dig deep enough, there's like something, because there's something for everything. But in terms of like established trails.
Oh my God, this is good trivia. People of the internet, what is a long trail that starts
we have
with
an
D?
E, F, G,
Where's
H,
far out?
I, J.
Hold on.
There's no K.
I'm going on far out.
We'll do the Kansas Trail.
There is no Kansas Trail. Did you just make that up?
Of course I made that up. But we have an L, M, N, O, P. Obviously no Q. That one's going to be a...
Okay, hold on. Far out is alphabetical.
There's no R? How is there not an R?
That's not true.
I feel like I'm doing Wheel of Fortune right now.
The Donald Pond Public Reserved Land.
Of course, the Donald.
20 miles in Maine. You can get the far out for $4.99.
I'm going to go on a limb and say the Denver Orbital Trail is more established than that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's on far out, so I guess that
There's no trail with an R? No way. This is the best derail we've ever done. People are screaming into their headphones right now. Yeah, I guess there's 3 on far out. There's the Ridgeway, which is 87 miles in southern England, the River Torrens Trail, which is 24 miles in South Australia, and the Routeburn Track, which is 20 miles in New Zealand. So nothing.
Yeah, these are all U.S. trails that I'm looking at.
These don't count.
S, obviously. T, yep. U, yes. V, no.
Okay.
W, yes.
I'm gonna make a rare
XYZ.
I'm making a rare appearance on the Backpacker Radio Instagram, and I'm posting a story that says
the alphabet.
What is a? I'll just put my face on this. Turn it around. Hi, internet. We need to crowdsource here. What is a long distance trail that starts with the letter D, or the letter R? Are there other ones that we're stuck on?
Y, X, Z.
Y, X, and Z, obviously. But
Q.
D and R. Queensland something. We're trying to go U.S. trails.
Yeah.
But apparently there's no long distance trails that start with a D or an R. So chime in if you know.
The D one is, I think, the most. D and R don't make any sense to me.
This makes no sense.
Wikipedia says there's a river-to-river trail. That's what it's called in Illinois.
It's funny that would be left off the list as a Illinoisan.
Wow. That should have been our trivia segment.
Which letters are not represented on the Trek's list of U.S. long trails?
No, just on which letters don't have a U.S. long trail.
Yeah.
Stop bringing everything back to the Trek.
Well, I'm saying this might not be an exhaustive list, so I don't want to be like, definitively these trails don't exist.
We've talked to a lot of people about trails. If we can't think of a single one, that's kind of
Yeah,
shocking.
but you and I have the worst memories.
That's true. But I even checked the internet.
The internet doesn't know much.
And Far Out.
Far Out's pretty good.
Well, now I've asked the listeners, if you're not currently following Backpacker Radio on Instagram and you're like, oh, I know the answer to this,
yeah,
follow it on Instagram. So
stuff
that you
your
can
sorries in a sack. Okay.
Crazy.
Any other standout stories from the AT that we should hit on?
Ooh, I almost got bit by a rattlesnake.
That counts?
Yes.
Where? Pennsylvania.
Oh, no, it was in Virginia.
Virginia.
So it was at a water source, and it was like mid Virginia. So I don't even know, maybe like 800, 700 miles in, and I realized I hadn't rinsed off my pee rag at all. The whole time.
Nice.
And so I don't know, that moment I was like, okay, I'll go do that.
Is it just stiff as a board?
Are you tossing it into your wash?
No, I didn't do anything.
Put this down on reasons I don't do pee rags. Everyone's like, oh, they're so clean, you just wash them.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You liars.
Let me pull up
Thank
my
you
list.
for being honest.
The funny thing is, I told this story to like some of my running friends when I got back. Yeah, they took pee rag. They didn't care about the rattlesnake. They always really focused on the pee rag part.
It's jarring at first.
Yeah, they were like, "What is that? I've never heard of it." So then, yeah, I was like went downstream of like the water source to like rinse it out. So I like crouched down by the water. I was like washing it off, and then I started hearing this rattling noise, and so then I looked at the rag, and I realized the carabiner had fallen off. I was like, oh, that's just the carabiner like hitting against a rock the creek. So then I like looked down to like go find it in the water, and I like look up. There is a rattlesnake ready to pounce 2 feet from my face.
Oh my god, in the water?
No, like on the shore. It was like a really small. It was like a stream like this big, I guess. And so it was like I was on this side. It was on this side. And since I was like crouched down, it was like right there. And so I just screamed, turned around, and ran. And I think it got frightened by that, because then it also, I think, scurried away the other
You
one.
can scare them.
Oh yeah. I had one.
That's my
shit
claim
its
to
pants.
fame. I scared one on the PCT. I've told this story before, but if anyone hasn't heard it, I'll tell it again. And if you have heard it, listen again. On the PCT, I saw 2 rattlesnakes. One was in the desert, 650 miles, and the second was in Northern California. And it was on like a curvy downhill part of like cliff trail, curvy downhill. And I was doing like a slight jog on the downhill. It's just easier on the knees sometimes. I'm not an athlete. And I turned a corner, and there was a rattlesnake sitting on like a rock. And because I was going a little faster, I scared it, and it jumped back into pouncy position. But there was cliff, and it fell down, and you could see, like I could see where it hit. It was okay. It slithered off, but you can scare them.
Whoa.
Pro tip.
That's good to know, because
Yeah.
I hate snakes.
You should see my algorithm. It's all snakes. I don't like snakes either.
How long did it take you to come down after that experience?
Probably a few minutes. Yeah, I definitely I started running off to like where my friends were above stream, but they were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "There was a rattlesnake," and the one guy was like, "Where? I want to see the rattlesnake."
Did you run forwards or backwards?
Backwards.
Okay, that's hard because then you got to go past him again, right?
No, because it was off trail.
Oh yeah, you were downstream.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Don't ever clean your pee rag. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Any other standout moments? Animal encounters, scary stories, embarrassing things, times you shit your pants.
I do have I have another animal story. That's crazy. I think it's, yeah. So in Vermont, I woke up early because I wanted to see the sunrise at like a tower. So I woke up before everyone else, but then it was raining and cloudy, and the tower was closed anyways. And I mean, I think if it had been a beautiful day, I probably would have climbed the tower. But since it was raining, I was like, okay, there's nothing to see, and no point of like risking falling off this tower. So I kept walking. And then really in my mind, I was like, one thing I love about the rain is that most of the animals are like not out because it's raining. And then like a minute later, I see this figure like hiking towards me. And in my mind, I was like, it seems pretty early to be seeing any southbounders from like the shelter that's like a few miles ahead. And then I was like, it's too big to be a bear. And so it like starts walking like towards me and closer, and I was like, that's a moose. So I freaked out. I like started backing away slowly, and then like even more, and like my heart was racing, but it like walked up and then it like turned into the bushes like before it got close to me. But I was still so freaked out. Like, that's the first moose I had seen on trail, and I was alone, and I like, knew no one was around. So I ended up backing up some more, and I was like, okay, you got this. You can, like, go by it. It's fine. And then I, like, started to go by, and I freaked myself out. I think this was just a tree. I think the moose really had, like, left by then. I was like, no, I can't do this. So then I, like, sat there on a rock for 2 hours waiting for someone else to come by. And so then once some other people caught up to me, then I kept hiking.
Did you say anything about why you were just hanging out?
Yeah, I was like, I saw a moose. And it was like this sweet older couple that we'd kind of flip-flopped around the past few days. And they were fearless. Yeah, they were like, oh, I would love to see a moose. Like, they're not going to harm you.
Yeah.
You mentioned it was your first moose you saw on trail. Was this your first moose you saw ever?
No, I've seen a moose before here, like in the Rocky Mountains.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But in a car, whenever I'm
it's
safe.
much different when there's no car blocking you.
Sweet. Okay, well, we're going to wrap with the sponsor question.
Someone messaged us River to River, Illinois.
Okay, there it is.
Thank you, Stephen Fay.
We got to add it to the list. Ironic that I'm leaving Illinois trails, the one trail that exists in Illinois, off the list. This is the Stay Salty question presented by Element. Use our URL, drinklmnt.com/trek for a free sample pack with your order. They've got some new pink lemonade. We'll talk about that more later. I haven't gotten it yet.
I was going to say, I haven't gotten that box.
No, I haven't either.
Shut up.
What is your hottest take in the world of backpacking or outdoors or triathloning at large? Just a spicy, contrarian take.
Ooh, I guess my hot take, and I guess this has to do with triathlons. I think anyone can complete an Ironman as long as they put in the training. That's like the hardest part. Right?
Why do you look at me?
Chance.
I'm stupid enough to try, but there's got to be.
You've already done the marathon part.
Yeah, but I couldn't do a triathlon within a day, and I feel like once you exceed 24 hours, you fail.
There are time cutoffs. What's the time cutoff?
I think it's 17 hours for a full Ironman.
Okay.
I would give myself 24, but I don't think I would make it.
Yeah.
It took me 7 hours to do a marathon.
I think it'd take me 17 hours to do a 2-mile swim.
I think I would drown in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, the 2 hours includes the boat that comes out to dig up my body.
Yeah.
Well, very good, Katie. Let us know, where should people go on social to keep up with you?
I'm on Instagram at KatieLance _. Not just at Katie Lance. That's like a famous realtor, evidently. But yeah, you got to add the _ after it.
Blast that out there, Katie Lance. Well, great. Thank you so much for joining us here on Backpacker Radio.
Thank you.
To the bonus segment, big news in the world of Lyme disease. Did you see this?
Probably not. Is there finally a pill?
Not a pill. There's a shot.
Is this big news? We've been talking about this for ages.
Yeah, but it's all been hypothetical. So there is an update. It seems like it's going to actually be coming to market next year.
Are they testing it on humans yet?
Big time.
No, really?
Yeah. Okay, so here's the rundown. 2 weeks ago, Pfizer and their partner Valneva announced phase 3 trial results for a Lyme disease vaccine called Valor, which stands for Vaccine Against Lyme for Outdoor Recreationists.
Val4.
Recreationists. That's the word. The vaccine showed more than 70% efficacy in people aged 5 and older. It technically missed its primary statistical endpoint, not because the vaccine didn't work, but because not enough participants contracted Lyme disease during the study to hit the confidence threshold. Pfizer is pressing forward with regulatory submissions anyway. We've talked about this part before. This is the second attempt at a Lyme vaccine. Back in the late 90s, there was a shot called Lymerix, which was approved, but press-driven safety concerns caused it to be not demanded enough in public that it just faded out of existence because not enough people were getting it.
You said 70%?
70% efficacy.
So they gave everyone this shot and then gave them all Lyme disease, and 30% of people are just fucked?
No, I don't actually know that detail of the study, but I'm assuming, and someone correct me if I'm wrong here, that they give the shot to some people, the placebo to some people, and then just let them go out and live out their everyday lives, and then see which percentages of them contract Lyme disease and don't.
That doesn't seem controlled enough.
I think with enough people, that can be similar to how a virus vaccine would operate. You're not going to give somebody COVID.
Right, but you're also not going to get Lyme disease at the grocery store.
I'm assuming they pick people that are actively outdoors, just based on the name itself. Vaccine against Lyme for outdoor recreationists. This is a lot of assumptions happening. We should look into
this. The part I love about this segment is that we have no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me fact check that at some point here.
That's exciting. Funny that it finally comes out into a climate where everyone's afraid of vaccines.
Well, so that is part of it.
Is it?
So Pfizer plans to submit the FDA for approval this year. So based on normal timelines, we're looking at probably mid-year next year, 2027, if it's approved. But sadly, because of the current political climate around vaccines, it does add uncertainty to that timeline. Think about the people in charge of either giving it the thumbs up or the thumbs down. There's a big question mark as to whether that will happen. And to the previous point of we had something like this already, and I guess it works pretty well for dogs still, but it just faded away because the public perception of it was not good, and I guess that was banked on I'm trying to find the exact let's see. It was approved in 98. Press-driven safety concerns with no actual causal link to adverse events that were ever established. So there were news stories about the adverse effects of this shot, but not backed up by the data whatsoever.
Huh. How
which sounds maybe parallel to stuff.
How long after it hits the public do you get the shot? Because I know you fear ticks, but I also know that you are a health boy.
I would not want to guinea pig this. I would let it. Yeah, it's a good question. I would let it be.
So what's the time frame that it's out and available that you wait?
Before my next AT thru-hike, probably. There's not enough Lyme disease concern out here for me to even consider it regardless.
Are you going to hike the AT again?
I have the dream of one or all of the boys wanting to do it and me doing it with them. That'd be cool. And if there was a vaccine that could cut down on the likelihood of Lyme by 70%, that would make the decision much easier from my standpoint. I don't even know if the vaccine faded between now and then, if that would be enough to stop me, but that would be a huge plus, certainly.
Maybe we could just kill all ticks by then.
Well, a lot of people think that Lyme disease is a government creation. Not a lot. There's not a lot. 12 people.
That should have been your segment.
12
Conspiracy
people think that.
theories.
We can do that for the next one.
Why do they think that?
Why do people think there is fire?
Yeah, it's so true.
Although it turns out some of the conspiracies are true. I should look into it before completely dismissing it, but my default is to dismiss it. I think it's bad shit.
Do you think it's more likely that Lyme disease is government manufactured or that birds are drones?
Birds are drones. I believe in that.
Yeah.
They're not real.
Some of them are real, but some of them definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So to give a little background, because I've been very outspoken about my fear of Lyme disease, but I want to put into perspective the issue with Lyme disease. This is probably not needed for most people, but official CDC surveillance reported about 90,000 cases in 2023. I think that's the most recent data. The CDC's own estimates put the true diagnosed and treated number at around 500,000 people annually. That's not an insignificant number. The standard diagnostic test misses up to 60% of early stage infections, and fewer than a third of infected people ever develop the classic bullseye rash. So the real number is likely even higher than that. It's hard to get a precise count. And as we know, the AT goes through the most densely populated area where Lyme disease is an issue. Over 95% of U.S. cases are concentrated in just 15 states, and the AT runs through the heart of most of them. Maine, Vermont, and Rhode Island are the highest states.
Rhode Island?
Yeah. We can find an R trail in there. The Rhode Island
The
Lyme
Rhode
Trail.
Island loop.
Yeah. Has had the highest per capita in 2023. Maine reported 213 cases per 100,000 residents, which I think comes out to like 1 in 500 people.
Sure, we're not mathematicians here.
Yeah, which is about 8 times the national average, and that's just the counted cases. A vaccine at 70% plus efficacy would be a meaningful tool for anyone spending serious time in the backcountry in the Northeast. Yada, yada, yada. And why Lyme disease sucks. This is, again, probably not needed for anyone, but worth touching on given the context of the story. So most people who get Lyme disease are treated promptly with antibiotics recover in full, but obviously most is not all people. Of every 100 reported cases, about 9 involve facial palsy, which actually one of the guys that I hiked with, Road Dog, ended up having this.
Is that what Zac Efron had?
I don't know.
Didn't have his face stop.
Oh, is that is facial palsy if that's what happened.
I'm gonna Google that. Keep going.
4 involve radicalopathy. I don't know what that is. And 3 involve meningitis or encephalitis, which is your brain swelling and potentially permanent damage. More serious neurological complications can include memory impairment, which is me, encephalitis, peripheral neuropathy, and these become more likely the longer the infection goes untreated. Then there's what happens after treatment. A 2022 Johns Hopkins study found that even with early diagnosis and prompt treatment, 14% of patients developed persistent functionally impairing symptoms 6 months or more after finishing antibiotics, including severe fatigue, body pain, and cognitive difficulties, compared to just 4% in the healthy control group. Brain fog, word-finding problems, joint pain, sleep disruption. Recent research suggests this may be driven by remnants from the Borrelia cell wall that linger in the body even after the bacteria itself has been eliminated, though the science is still developing. So moral of the story is Lyme disease is scary because even if you do everything properly, like you catch it early, you take the antibiotics, you can still have chronic symptoms that are like really debilitating. And I have talked to people where this is the case. Like there's many books where this is true. It's just a scary thing. And for this to come from something that like is borderline so small you don't even find it on your body while backpacking through a region like the Appalachian Trail, it's in my mind, I think it's like the biggest actual threat to hikers, especially in certain regions of the country.
Yeah, very scary. Also, Zac Efron did not have it. He slipped in his home in 2013 and broke his jaw on a granite fountain.
Is that why his face looks so like?
Yeah, apparently
Easter
they had to wire his mouth shut, and during recovery, his masseter muscles grew really, really big, in quotes, causing a different, more pronounced look.
Yeah, I think everyone was assuming that he was doing the look maxing thing.
Efron did acknowledge the rumors, telling Entertainment Tonight that the incident sucks, but that he finds the speculation funny.
Oh.
So I guess he knows that we also think it is interesting.
Yeah.
But no, not that. He just hit his face on a fountain.
Yeah. I'm glad that he is not one of the guys doing the look maxing things. Because, like, obviously a very sexy man.
Well.
Objectively a very sexy man. You don't think so? That's insane.
Prior to 2013.
Oh,
I don't think he looks as good. He's had like a shit ton of... Did that happen
in 2013?
Yeah, and he's had like a fuck ton of plastic surgery to try to fix it. His face... No, look, literally, the injury, 2013. I'm literally looking at it. But now his face is like different. And he's gotten some plastic surgery. But yeah.
The left is 2021. That's not 2013.
Right. But apparently the thing that fucked up his face was in 2013. I don't know. I'm not a Zac Efron follower, but I would take Dylan Efron over the two. So
Yeah. Cool. We'll do a triple crown of Chauncey's biggest boners.
Triple crown of Efrons. There's only two.
Okay, very good. To the Trek propaganda portion of today's show. Let's do this one by our fearless managing editor, the wonderful Kelly Floro. The first week of your thru hike will probably be the hardest. Here's how to prepare. I'm just going to read it. Which part of your thru hike will be the hardest? Will be the halfway point, when the honeymoon phase is wearing off, the end, when your energy stores are likely to be running low. In reality, many hikers find that it's none of those. Their hardest time on trail is week 1. It makes sense if you think about it. Week 1 is when your romantic notions of thru hiking run up against the harsh reality of long, cold nights and endless climbs with heavy gear. Week 1 is when you find out your sleeping bag isn't warm enough and you hate all the snacks you packed. It's when you come to grips with homesickness, with the daunting notion of still having almost the entire trail still ahead of you and no clue if you can actually do this. So if you're interested as to why the first chapter of a thru hike is the hardest, Kelly always writes a very thought-provoking piece. And this next one is by Pegleg, obviously mega popular blogger for us. She's been doing some featured content now that she's not hiking 30 miles a day every single day. And this one is an interview with a trail angel that she met on her big hike last year. Hiking 6,300 miles in 1 year at age 70. People tend to ignore old guys. Fred Graystroke Jones set out at the start of January 2025 to hike all 3 Triple Crown trails. He had hiked the AT before, but had never been on the PCT or the CDT. This added an even greater logistical challenge to his year. Many hikers who had attempted the calendar year Triple Crown do so after having previously hiked all 3 trails. While it's not a prerequisite for the calendar year Triple Crown, that level of familiarity can give hikers a leg up, and it's one that Fred didn't have when he set out in 2025. To get the full profile on Fred, head to the link in the show notes. Definitely sounds like a very interesting character. And to do something like that at age 70...
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, I would be happy to do something like the Colorado Trail when I'm 70 years old.
I'd be happy to still be breathing.
That's a good point, too. Question of the day. This is one that struck me. This is a sad one. It struck me recently. Does pizza lose its luster as you get older?
Yeah, I think no. I think we just live in Denver, Colorado. That might be why you're getting pizza fatigue.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, I'm sure if I lived in New York or Chicago or inserts...
Pizza doesn't lose its
Mecca,
luster if you live there.
I don't know. The reason I say that is because pizza that I used to go crazy for here in Denver, Blue Pan, there's good pizza out here. It doesn't like strike the orgy bells that like I get when I eat ice cream or I have a milkshake.
Pizza is fine out here. It's fine.
It's not great.
It's fine.
But I'm saying the pizza that I used to enjoy at an 8 out here, I find now is like a 5-6 at best.
I think it started at a 5-6 and you put it at an 8 because it's like new and exciting. And then now that you're used to it,
I'm open to someone
5-6.
I'm open to challenging this the next time I go to a pizza hotspot, but I just find it's not something like when I'm eating a cold slice of pizza or I'm eating pizza leftovers or like even I'm at a party and they bust the pizza out.
Here sucks. Here's the thing. When I went to Kentucky, when I was in the Red River Gorge, I ordered, and like Cincinnati is it's not the pizza mecca of the world, right? But was it there? No, it wasn't there. It was backtrack. It was when I was in North Carolina. I was staying with Heidi and I ordered us a pizza. And I swerved during the ordering process because this place was like the best rated on the app. And I went to go order it and they had an option for a Sicilian pie. I don't see Sicilian pies out here. Maybe they have them poorly, but in that moment I was like, I need to make an executive decision that we're getting a Sicilian because I haven't had a good Sicilian in freaking years. Pie? It's like a deeper dish, okay. But it's like a fatter. There's a difference between it and deep dish. I don't know what that is, but it's delightful. And they made a really, really good one at home. Posa, if you ever.
Call maybe a slightly thicker tavern style.
Yeah, but the dough is soft. It's really good.
Okay.
It's really good. And I forgot that they existed.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, those are things and they're great. And I just forgot because we live in Denver and all we can do is green chili and everything else is fine.
I encourage you to check back with me in 5 years because I think I probably still had a bigger love for pizza when I was a child like you.
Here's the flip side.
Yeah.
As we age and get older, we have eaten more of a thing than we had in previous years.
Yeah.
And like when you find people who are like mega old, like I often find as if no.
When you're hanging out at old
You
folks'
like
homes.
you get like the impression they don't eat as much, right? Like did you have old people in your life that didn't eat as much and you're like you should really eat more?
I don't think I've ever seen, my dad hasn't
You've
eaten
never
in the
seen an
last,
old
like, 5
person?
years.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think my working theory is that as you get older, you know when you eat so much of a food you burn out on it and you're like I don't want to eat that anymore?
Yeah, but I can recover that love after a period of time.
Right. But after like 80 years of eating the same kind of shit, maybe you're just fucking sick of all of it.
It's possible.
So maybe you're just getting more sick of pizza because you've in relation to your life had so much more of it that you're just getting bored of eating.
I don't feel that way with ice cream is my only counter to that. And I think this is more just like taste buds and an older body's craving of actual nutrients. Because like there's so many times recently where I find myself enjoying eating, like actually enjoying the taste of healthy food more than junk food, which is a fucking crazy thing. I used to eat healthy food because it was like the right thing to do. But like the other day I had a salad and I'm like, I don't want the salad. I'm enjoying the salad.
Really?
That's an old person thing.
That is.
I
Well, you're
think-
approaching 40.
I'm 40 years old.
When did you turn 40?
On my birthday.
When was that?
December.
Fuck. I didn't even do anything for it. Yeah, maybe that's a your 40s thing.
I think it's a getting older thing.
Also, you're welcome for assuming you weren't 40 yet.
Yeah, I'm definitely 28.
Didn't say that.
But that's my theory. I don't know. I'm curious to have the other 40-year-olds chime in because, like, I still enjoy pizza. It's not like I have a bite of pizza, I'm like, yuck, get this away from me. It's that when I was in my 20s, I could eat pizza every single night and never get sick of it. It could be bad pizza. It could be good pizza. It'd be like pizza all the time. Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
That's not the case for me.
Maybe you've eaten too much pizza.
Yeah, I don't think that. It's possible. It's not impossible. I don't think that's it.
Well, I hope that's not what happens when you turn 40. I don't want to not like pizza.
I think that's what happens. The good news is that you do start enjoying the things that you should be eating.
Wow, I mean, I like a salad. I can't wait to turn 40.
Yeah, I like eating healthy food. And that's been a tough realization for me because I don't. It's still like the hedonist part of my brain wants to like lash out and do bad stuff. And it's like, it's never rewarding enough.
No, I think you've crossed over fairly enough. You make your own bone broth.
It's been a while since I've done that, but I do that. Yeah, like I said, for a long time I'd eat healthy because it was the right thing to do. Now my body's just telling me like, yeah, you should be doing this, you fucking idiot.
That's insane.
It is crazy. So this is me talking to the kids on the other side.
Yeah, I would just like to hear from more people in their 40s because I hope this isn't the case, and that's really sad if it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it has to be because you're the older, because I feel like I've learned to love pizza more than I
Really?
used to. Even as a kid, people would be like, "What's your favorite food?" And they'd be like, "Pizza." And I was like, "What? How in the world is pizza your favorite food?" But as I've grown older, I've learned to enjoy pizza even more.
Okay, maybe.
How old
it's-
are you?
I'm 29.
Maybe there's a peak in the pizza curve.
Yeah, and then it goes down.
But I also love pizza. Do you remember getting pizza boats in school? That was the coolest day
Oh
of
my
the week.
God.
Pizza boat?
I never
Yeah.
call it a pizza boat, but you're talking about that just slice. They just put a slice on your plate.
No, it's literally, maybe this is a Midwest thing, I don't know, but it's the shape of a boat and like the
What do you mean the shape
the
of a
dough
boat?
gets thicker in the middle the way like a boat would, or deeper in the middle.
Pizza boat. It was just like a flat sheet pan. Oh, like the French breads.
Yeah. The ones that we had at school didn't even look like this.
I don't like them. I don't like them as much because there's too much crust. There's too much circumference on them, versus the sheet pan that they would give us at school. Like if you played your cards right, you could get a no crust piece, and
Sure.
that was a big day.
Yeah, but the moral of the story is like, I'd go crazy for pizza boats. I would eat the fuck out of Pizza Hut. Like, you couldn't give me a pizza that wasn't the best day of my life every single time.
Yeah.
Now, In my opinion, I think like Blue Pan is the best pizza nearby here.
I don't like Blue Pan.
Yeah, I mean it's a style. If you don't like Detroit, I think Woody's is really good.
I do like Woody's. I don't know. I think I'm the wrong person to ask this to, because I think that saying pizza loses its luster would just be like betraying my people.
It is part of the identity. I mean, it's baked into the Chicago mindset less than it is in New York, I would say.
Yeah, is New York style your favorite?
Yeah. I don't really understand the other styles. Like, I know Chicago's deep dish.
That's the most what
Detroit
it's known for.
has a style too, though.
Yeah, that's Blue Pan.
What do they do? It's also deep dish.
Yeah, it's like a slightly airier crust. It's usually not much sauce. It's a thicker crust, airier, and then not much sauce. It's just cheese on top.
In my brain, New York style is correct, and the other ones are like spin-offs.
Okay, yeah.
So,
but
I don't know if it's my favorite. I'm just like so heavily biased that it's the only one that feels right.
I would say the most consumed pizza in the Chicagoland area is tavern style, which is thinner crust, not quite New York style thin, but thinner for sure, and then cut into squares.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that was sad.
But yeah, we should do. I mean, we went to New York. The pizza was
We
good.
did.
The
We
pizza
went to
was
New
good.
York.
It's just like I don't know.
You can come back to New York when the Bears play the Bills.
It's true. That'll be a long conversation with Jenna. To the Triple Crown, this is definitely a you.
I don't think so.
Oh.
This actually could be a Rachel because
Yeah.
in parentheses it's in red.
May the 4th be with you.
You didn't get that this whole time?
No, I did not.
Oh my God, you've never heard that?
This is how. No, I mean I've heard the saying before, but I don't anoint May 4th as a Star Wars holiday because I don't like Star Wars.
I mentioned it at the top of the show, and then you said, and tomorrow's Margarita Day.
What did you say at the top of the show?
Something about May 4th and Star Wars, and you said, and tomorrow's Margarita Day.
I missed that.
Oh. And then I said less than, and it was Patreon, and I said less than the cost of a shot of tequila.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was where it stemmed from.
Yeah.
But anyway, Triple Crown of Star Wars characters. We need Garrett here for this one,
Yeah.
realistically. I'll start because I've got slim pickings, and I'll also Google Star Wars characters. I don't need to do that. I know some. My first one.
But should I do an amendment to? No, I'll do this after the Triple Crown. I have the answer to how they tested the vaccine, which is not going to make sense to people who are listening on Monday.
Okay, but say it just as a teaser. Don't say what you're referencing or what vaccine it is.
Let's do this first, and then I'll do it.
Okay, I thought you had the answer on the ready. Okay, my first one is going to be Anakin.
Okay, that's
Anakin Skywalker.
Young
Young Anakin.
Darth, right?
Yeah.
I
Young
knew
Darth.
that much. That's pretty good, right?
That is young Darth, and he's the one that falls in love with Natalie Portman, and then
relatable.
Kind of fucks that up. But I think the more I've had to watch it, the more I've understood the love story part. It kind of grazed over my head in the beginning because I wasn't fully paying attention, but he really fucked it up. Like, his own paranoia really messed it up. However, can't have Star Wars without him. And there's so many good jokes.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen any of the movies with Anakin. I just picture Justin Bieber. I don't know why.
How do you want to do this Triple Crown and you've never seen any?
I've seen the originals. I've seen the originals.
Okay.
Okay, my turn. And then Katie gets 2.
Yes.
I'm going to go Yoda just because I see the baby Yoda memes all the time.
I think the baby Yoda's Grogu. I don't think it's Yoda. I think that's a different Yoda. It's the same species, but it's not Yoda. The baby one is not Yoda as a baby. The baby one is a different character called Grogu.
Part of me wanted to counter you, and then it dawned on me that I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking
No,
about.
and the only reason that I know this is because I always call it Yoda, and Garrett corrects me.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
We
as
both
far as
could-
I'm concerned, Garrett is the leading authority in all things. I'm still sticking with Yoda,
You should.
but I also want
Find
to
a different
believe
reason.
that baby Yoda is just Yoda as a baby.
That's actually, I for once agree with you.
Okay.
I would also like to believe that. I just get corrected.
Is this
in
like a
every
fan
turn.
theory or just something that...
No, this is a completely different character. This is like having two humans in an alien movie, and you're saying that they're the same character because they're both human.
I didn't know there could be multiple Yodas.
It's a species. It's like
Yeah,
it's
this is
like
all news to
how
me.
Jar Jar Binks has like there's more of him.
Jar Jar Stinks?
Yeah, Juju
Juju
Boinks.
Binks? Juju Boinks?
Juju Boinks.
Well, those Jar Jar Stinks was my...
Porn star name?
No, my business idea, where as a marketplace where you sell fart jars.
I think it should be your porn star name.
That works too.
Anyway.
All right, Katie, you get two.
Ooh, so I don't even know if I've seen all the Star Wars movies.
If you've seen like 3, you're doing better than I am.
But I'll say R2-D2.
Okay,
Good one. That's a
one that I know.
character.
I think the Star Wars, the movies I have seen, it seems like he comes in and helps save the day.
He does things.
Whenever Luke needs his help
Yeah.
being saved.
He reminds me of the the robot nanny from the Jetsons.
Yes.
That's all I've got.
There's a super Star Wars fan somewhere listening to this that is
Livid.
hating us right now.
I thought you were into Star Wars.
What do you mean? No, my husband's into Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm into supporting him.
Okay. That's good wife stuff. All right, Katie, you get another one.
I'm just gonna say Chewbacca.
Ooh, that's
just
a good
because
one.
of the noises he makes.
Yeah.
That's a good reason too.
Yeah.
Zach, your turn.
Shout out to my guy Harrison Ford. I'm going Han Solo.
That's also a good one. Any
Only
reason?
because Harrison Ford, of celebrities that make me unexpectedly laugh in interviews the most often, it's usually Harrison Ford. I don't know why, but he seems like a guy you want to have a beer with.
Okay.
And
That's a good enough reason.
therefore, Han Solo is a good character.
Okay.
Is Han Solo?
I don't know. Oh, yeah, definitely Han.
Yeah.
Han? It's like a me pronunciation. Okay. I'm going to go with C-3PO.
Yep.
He's the gold one. He's just like constantly exacerbated with everyone. I think that's endearing. And then my last one. I'll go Princess Leia. I know.
You took away.
But like you kissed your brother.
She did?
Oh my god, Zach. Oh my god. Yes.
Which one is that?
Luke. Leia and Luke are twins. They're Anakin's kids.
Then they didn't know that they
But
were
they don't.
siblings.
Yeah, they don't know.
Luke, I am
do
your
they?
friend. No, they didn't know at the time,
Okay.
but like they still kissed.
This sounds like the prequel to Game of Thrones.
Oh my god.
I'm into it.
We should do a segment where I just try to explain you the plot and what I remember.
Yeah.
Because that would also be terrible.
So they kiss because they're in love. At what point, how like soon thereafter do they discover that they're siblings? I'm picturing the montage in Ace Ventura.
I can't remember. I remember that
Your gun is sticking into my
Han
hip.
Solo got a little upset because I think he thought that Leia liked Luke. And then Leia was like, no, Luke's my brother. And Han was like, what? Or maybe that was backwards. But someone knew at some point. This is like right around the
Chance
time.
explained Star Wars.
This
a
is
good
right around the
segment.
time the Ewoks, the little teddy bears with the hoods,
Uh-huh.
they were like gonna roast C-3PO, and then all of a sudden Luke did something and they didn't, or maybe C-3PO did something and they had a party,
Yeah.
and then Han was like, I'm jealous.
I told Viking and Jolly that I wasn't into like science fiction or fantasy on the San Diego Trans-County Trail, and like specifically cited Star Wars as like something I just didn't care about as a kid, and they were both appalled. Like, Viking, I believe his quote was like, every boy that I knew and grew up around loved Star Wars.
Yeah, I think the problem I have is I get Princess Leia and Padme confused, because Padme is Luke's mom and Leia's mom. She's the one that Anakin got pregnant, but then
Padme? That sounds like
Is that Natalie Portman?
that's Natalie Portman.
That sounds like a
But then
Thai dish.
there's this guy, there's this like bad guy. I think it was Emperor Palpatine. And he's like brainwashing Anakin, making him like try to go to the dark side. And he's getting this guy hella paranoid. And Anakin's like getting paranoid. And then he has this dream, but really Palpatine plants it in his head that basically tells him that Padme is going to die in childbirth. And then Anakin like gets so freaked out by it that he like does something that ends up causing her to die in childbirth, and it's like all his fault, and then he goes to the dark side and he can't come back. But that's the part where Padme is like, Anakin, it's killing me, you know, but then she dies, and then he like never comes back. And then he always like resents Luke and Leia because she died in childbirth.
You lost me a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. As someone that doesn't watch Star Wars,
that's the part I remember.
Good. That seemed pretty good.
I could have really botched that.
That's like when I'm explaining like some health fad to you and your eyes just glaze over, and I'm like very confident that I'm right, even though I'm probably wrong.
I'm not confident. Right. I just remember a scene. Anyway, what's your third?
No, I get one more.
Oh yeah, you get one more.
Darth Vader.
That's Anakin.
They're different characters, though.
It's the fucking same person.
No,
Anakin gets like caught in this saucy pit of lava.
I knew you were trying to set a trap by taking Anakin.
That's not a trap.
It is a trap.
He gets caught in this lava and he he gets his little like limbs sliced off, and his face burns and everything. And then they have to, in order to keep him alive, they put him into this Darth Vader suit. It's the same fucking guy. Luke, I am your father.
You are a nasty woman. You set a trap for me, knowing that I was going to want to take Darth Vader.
There's a million others. Here's a list. Pick anyone else.
No, Darth Vader.
It's the same person. Same person.
He's wearing the full suit.
Same person.
And he's talking out of the voice box.
I will say this list has them as two different people, but it's just AI
It's just an identity
generated,
shift.
So.
It's just
that
an
counts.
identity shift.
You're dead naming him.
Oh my god. Fine. Take him.
Yeah. All right. Pretty good draft for me. I got.
What would you like?
I'm gonna go with Ray.
Great.
She's the one in like the newer.
Yeah. She's that brunette.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Is Ray hot?
Yeah, objectively.
She has a cool hairdo.
Too young for me to be saying that. No is the answer.
Pedro Pascal's in this, isn't he? The Ray ones. Isn't he someone in an orange suit? Because I like him. I'll pick him. Honorable mention, Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal. He is someone. He's in The Mandalorian. Anyway, that's Star Wars for you.
Yeah, we don't need honorable mentions.
So.
Can't believe you let me.
Chewbacca. No,
Darth
we said
Vader.
that. Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, damn.
How didn't you pick him? You picked my choice twice, but you couldn't pick your own best friend?
Jabba the Hutt would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Wait, is that how Jabba has his name?
Yeah.
Oh.
His love for food.
Yeah.
It was going to turn him into
like
Jabba
a
the
fat
Hutt.
caterpillar.
Yeah. Okay. No context. People have to listen to the Thursday release. But my eyes are bad. About 9,400 participants age 5 and older were enrolled at sites specifically in Lyme endemic areas across the U.S., Canada, and Europe. Half got the vaccine, half got a placebo. So far, my hypothesis is correct. And neither the participants nor the researchers evaluating outcomes knew who received which. That's a double blind. The 4-dose schedule ran over roughly 2 years, with the final booster timed just before peak tick season. Researchers then tracked who got Lyme disease in each group, which is how the 70% plus efficacy figure was calculated. The trial was originally designed to enroll about 18,000 people. That number was cut roughly in half after the companies dropped participants over quality concerns with a third-party clinical site operator. That reduction is directly why the trial missed its primary statistical endpoint. Fewer participants meant fewer Lyme cases, which meant less statistical confidence. Even though the vaccine's underlying efficacy held up, it's an important distinction. The vaccine worked. The study just didn't have enough cases to clear the preset statistical bar.
I don't know how this leaves any sort of cliffhanger about what we were talking about.
Yeah, no, it directly answers it.
Yeah.
But they'll get the important news by
Yep.
getting the Thursday release. So there it is.
Good.
Mailbag.
Mailbag. As a native San Diegan, avid hiker backpacker who lives just 3 miles from a section of the CDTCT, I didn't learn about this trail until a few years ago. I did the route.
SDTCT.
What did I say?
CDTCT.
I can't fucking read letters now. I did the route. It says it too. That's a bad thing. I did the route 2 years ago and shared a similar experience aside from cold, rainy conditions starting from Lake Cuyamaca.
Yeah, I got a lot of feedback that I was saying that wrong.
Cuyamaca. Okay. To Ramona. I ended up getting a hotel room near Cedar Creek Falls Trailhead and also hiked in the dark/early dusk through the Barona Indian Reservation. While I didn't have any negative interactions, it was nerve-wracking and I was expecting to see upset landowners. There are alternative routes I've eyed that avoid this area. The bushwhack you missed wasn't fun, but El Cajon Mountain is one of my favorite hikes in San Diego and a great alternative to the dangerous Wildcat Canyon Road. The section after Oak Oasis is also very dicey, crossing private property and literally hopping a fence. I have several reroute ideas that I just need to piece together. At some point, I want to build out an alternative GPX that eliminates some of these problematic sections. From Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. We've actually gotten a decent amount of feedback on that episode. I imagine it was probably just way too much information for people that haven't hiked it or don't have interest in hiking it. We really went deep into that one. It was like almost 5 hours.
Jabba was there.
But it was really interesting to get feedback from people who had hiked it. And like consistently, people had the same reports. It was just like it felt kind of uneasy, which is what Ryan is reiterating here. So I'll be curious to see what his reroutes come up with, because conceptually I think it's a really cool, fun idea, but it definitely needs some work. We even got an email from someone who said like their friend was one of the creators of the original route.
Wow, small world.
I emailed back being like, yeah, put me in contact with them. I haven't heard back. 5-star review. That's indeed how the last sentence is. This is from AudiBL48. Love the show. I'm a new listener making... Rachel's notes are never not funny.
No, she's really great.
Yeah. I'm a new listener making plans to start backpacking/hiking at 54 years old. I appreciate your show. It's funny and informative. Thank you for doing...
It's only so funny because of Rachel's note.
Yeah.
That's indeed how the last sentence ends.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. If you guys want to have your review read on this podcast, head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave us any number of stars.
Just not 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Screenshot your review, send us an email at podcast@thetrek.co, and I will send you a sticker until I can find someone else to do that. Thank you to today's title sponsor, Element. Goddamn, I love Element. I'm on my second one of the day right now. They are, I think this is public information. They have a new flavor. It's pink lemonade.
I don't know. You just told me about this like 10 minutes ago, and I'm still wrapping my head around it. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I think by the time this episode comes out, we'll probably have had a chance to sample it. We haven't yet. But the lemonade is so good, and just the idea of pink lemonade makes so much sense that genuinely Chance and I are very excited about
Pink
this.
lemonade's the superior lemonade, so it can only be really, really good because the lemonade one is so good.
Yeah.
Don't disagree with that sentence if that's why you're pausing.
No, Leo was watching, him and his brothers were watching Curious George, and in one of the episodes they did a lemonade stand, and the next morning he woke up, he's like, Dad, I want to sell some lemonade. It was a work day, so I didn't help him out. But Jenna did the entire thing. They went out to the grocery store, got the makings, she like got a table set up, made the sign and everything like that, and he made like $12.
How much did he charge? Because I bought lemonade from a lemonade stand last week and I got fucking hosed.
I think he was gouging people. I think that's how that works, is you're selling your cuteness.
So it tasted like shit
lemonade.
lemonade. It tasted like they didn't put enough powder, and I get it, these are children, but inflation, man. The girl that was there, first off, I pulled over to make sure I had cash first because I was like, I'm not going to disappoint them. I sold lemonade for 25 cents, and I felt really good about not telling this child that because I was like back in my day. Anyway, she was selling it, and this is where it made no sense, and there were parents there with them. This is a crazy interaction. So I pull over. She's got a sign, and they're selling Rice Krispies too that someone made. And she said, lemonade is $2. Rice Krispies are $2, or you can get both for $5. And I looked at her, and I had exactly $4. And I looked at her, and I was trying to figure out how to say, or I could get both for $4. And I assume the mother, adult woman who was sitting at the hub, calls out, "Oh, cut her a deal." Because I said, I didn't know what to say. So I said, I have $4. And the adult woman yelled out, "Cut her a deal." And I'm like, are you stupid too?
I mean,
fucking $2 for lemonade or $2 for Rice Krispie treats. I've got $4. That means I can buy both. But if I buy both, now it's $5.
Yeah.
And the adult is telling you to cut me a deal. And also, this used to be 25 cents. It's a Dixie cup with no ice, and it's watered down. It was not enough powder in it. And then I drove away, and I started thinking about, I took a bite of the Rice Krispie treat, and it was fine. But then you ever think about, like, kids making things and how sticky they are and how just gross kids are, and that
I know how gross kids are.
Right, and then you think about them making the food you ingest. I didn't finish it. I couldn't finish the Rice Krispies because I started thinking about a sticky kid making it and that getting everywhere, and just, I got price gouged. I haven't bought lemonade in my entire life since I sold it from a child, but I found a child on the side of the street selling it, and I thought nostalgia, and it was just wild all around.
To the point of how gross kids are, all three of the boys just love peeing outside, and they've now started peeing off our back deck. And next to where they pee is our Yeti cooler.
Oh, no.
And the twins recently discovered opening the lid and just peeing into the cooler. And it took us a while to figure it out, to the point where like the cooler smelled bad and you could see his like yellow had dried on the inside. So yeah, there was like dehydrated piss inside of our nice Yeti cooler.
Poor Jenna.
Yeah. But yeah, Drink Element.
Drink Element.
drinkelement.com/trek for a free sample pack with your order. And yeah, it's good stuff. Go out and get that pink lemonade as soon as it's out. I have a feeling it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Super big thank you to the Chuck Norris, the Bob Peoples award winners.
Rachel.
In her defense, I don't know.
I feel like we should check with him.
Bob Peoples?
Yeah.
He's been a tough one to nail down.
That's
We
true.
got
That's
so
true.
close.
That's his fault for avoiding us.
Yeah, we've gotten close, but it's been
That was so funny. That one day we got to tell the saga of Rachel trying to track down Bob Peoples on this podcast.
Rachel's a bloodhound for guests.
Like calling his house phone repeatedly.
Yeah. That is Alex and Misty with Navigators Crafting, Alex Kendall, Andrew, Austin McDaniel, Bill Jensen, Brad and Blair from 13 Adventures, Brent Mullins, a.k.a. Cruzy, Brian Alsop,
Hey, both.
Carl Lobster Hood, Christopher Marshburn, Clint Sittler, Coach from Marine Outdoors, Eric Casper,
Friendly Ghost.
Eric Hoffman, Ethan Harwell Dunn, Jillian Daniels, Greg Knight, Greg Martin, Griffin, hey, would you bring me a beer? Haley Buckingham,
Palace.
Jackson Storm,
Trooper.
more Star Wars, Jason Kaiser, Jason Snailer. Do we do the...
You got to say the snail. He put it there. If he put it there and he's
that's
paying
true.
money, you say it.
That's true.
Say it again.
Jason the Snailer,
Barely know her.
Luke Netjes, Maddie in Arizona, Patrick Ciancialo, Randy Sutherland, Rebecca Braveheart, Rural Juror, Sawyer Products, the St. Louis Shaman, Timothy Hahn,
Solo. More Star Wars.
and Tracy Trigger. Thank you to our guy, Paulie, at Old Man Merv's Coffee Roasters. Go to ommcr.com. Get yourself some delicious beans. You can follow us at Backpacker Radio on Instagram and TikTok and Threads. Also, we're in Facebook. Those are all the places.
In Facebook.
We're inside of the book. We're in the third chapter somewhere. You can follow Chance.
You can find me on the internet, on Instagram at Juliana_Chauncey, on YouTube at Juliana Chauncey, and you can get my book, Hiking from Home, a long distance hiking guide for family and friends, on Amazon.
Appalachian Trails and Pacific Crest Trails are my books. Chance and I would be very appreciative for a review on Amazon.
Yep.
Subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on YouTube.
Hi, internet.
And that is it. Thank you so much for listening, and happy hiking.
Bye.